security elements. Decide what are those minimum requirements to be able to meet that requirement. Minimum able to meet that requirement. Okay. So you got to determine your requirements. Then you do a gap analysis. So you compare that to what you already got, and then you, in that gap analysis, you work out where you need skills. So it's about people. Which tools do you need to know about? You need to adopt. You need to include. You need to define processes in your business to be able to work through it and to be able to solve certain things. You need to build up a team, and you need to define service level agreements. So this meeting these should get you to your MVP, but that's not where the story ends. So let's say you got there and you got that MVP and you connected and you're meeting that requirement. We know that all software that stops growing and stops building and stops including new pieces of software end up dying. That's just the reality of it. So how do you do that? You need to build in a continuous improvement process. So you've determined your biggest pain points once you're live. You find solutions for them and you iterate on that. And that's really the power of modern agile software development, is that you keep that iteration going. Biggest problems, fix them, find solutions for them. Next biggest problem, find solutions for them. And as long as, if you can release in a safe, reliable way, it means that your software and your solution can become adaptable. And that's very, very powerful. It means that sometimes they're not just pain points that you're working towards, but competitive edges, and allows you to work with the market and change with the market. And so they really are very powerful concepts that are worth working on. And they certainly do apply for incorporating operations into an existing business. Okay. So what does operations do? You need to be able to respond to any issues. There's a configuration element to operations. You need to be careful about how you manage your configurations. Business continuity. So that means that's your uptime reliability. That is, if parts of it break, do you have a single source of failure? You shouldn't. And if any aspect of your system fails, how does it recover, and how long does it take to then build and get your system back up to where you were before? That's really what we're talking about, business continuity, and doing that systematically and identifying processes on how to go about it is a really important part of your business. Then putting the service level agreements in place with other parties and within your own support team. Proactive monitoring as well. Threat monitoring. There are tools and processes that you can put in place to help you actively monitor that the system's working and behaving the way it is. If you've done the proactive monitoring right, you will know about problems before they come. So there are often signs beforehand, before big problems come into a productionized system, and that's what the proactive monitoring is to start understanding about parts of the system that are getting strained or under pressure or not used in the way that they should be. So then you can put something in place to mitigate that. And then change responsibly. That means you have change control. You have a process of testing before you go live with it, so that you're confident that you're not putting your service under risk, and that it is going to deliver what it's intended to deliver. Okay, so that's mainly what I'm going to talk about. So those are the high-level concepts. maybe let's look at what it might look like in your organization. So as a core part of your business, you might have an incident. So you would need to log that incident, and then it goes into your support center. So in support, you have different levels of support. And the reason why you do that is because you've got some employees who are more skilled than others, or know certain parts of the system better than others. Initially, when you're in a startup and you're small, this is one person who's doing everything. He's your techie. He understands all the different parts and how they fit together. But as your system grows, it's only natural that some people become an expert in the database, or an expert in Mojaloop, or an expert in some other aspect of your software. And when that starts to happen, then it becomes important to separate out the different roles within your organization. And this is a good map of how you can do that. So support personnel are different to engineers who build a system. The support guys are people. They understand people. They can talk to people, and they follow up, and they chase the right people, and they tend to work in a different way to how your sort of architects of your technical system are. So you often want your architects to be actioned lower down in the support stream, and the people at the top really managing the client interface. So this is how you would design a support system, a support desk. So the guys manning the desk are the people, and they will have a reference of support, and will be able to have limited access into the back-end system to be able to answer some of those questions. And they'll be taking your incidences and making sure that there's a proper execution flow through those incidences, so that they can, in fact, come to a happy outcome afterwards. Incidences that are recurring over and over again, they get then logged as problems, and then problems also go through a similar flow process. So in your operational center is really the people who understand your technical system the most, and they will they are often how should I put it? Normally you would then escalate issues into that problem system when we know that the standard issues that keep on coming up aren't one of them. This is almost like a filter system. Otherwise, the person who understands the system the most ends up getting swamped by questions that are not really about the main system. So that's how we filter that out. And then if your operational center cannot answer the question, then they escalate it into what we call L4 support, which are the people, the sort of developer access. Now, when putting support together, something that I haven't covered in the slide, it's important to know that there's a segregation of duties that is important, and that is the people writing the software, which are your L4 support. So these are the guys, your coders who are building your system up. They should never have access to the production system. This is particularly important for financial systems, because if you're writing the software and you have control to production, then you can steal money. So so that is not allowed in financial systems. We need to separate out the people who write the product from the supporting structure. Okay, so tools that you need when you're putting a support program together is you need a ticketing tool so that you can manage these issues as they come up and make sure that you get to an end solution. There are lots of ticketing tools out there, and to try and drive a support desk without one is just crazy. So use one, implement one. The other thing that's important to know about is a defect triage escalation flowchart. That means some issues are really important and involve everyone putting down their tools, like your whole office, and fixing it. Because it needs to become your number one priority. But you can't do that with every issue that comes up. So how do you escalate it? When do you make it a level 1 priority issue? And the way you do that is you have a defect triage tool, a little bit how hospitals do that. They need to determine which patients are the most sick so that they can give them the urgent care. And they're not going to give that to everyone. They're going to give it to patients who need it. So in a similar way, support desks need to be doing that. And then we've got problem management that happens when you get recurring incidences, and you've got to work out how to solve them. And then you need an alert mechanism for high-level priority issues. So just at a high level, this is how to start thinking about operations in your system, and hopefully you guys will build a big enough organization where this becomes something really important that you need to work on. So things I haven't mentioned is security, incident management. Yeah, I'm actually not going to talk much about it, except it is a thing. And there are specialist tools and people in place that can help you do that. And underneath all of this, and which is relevant to PISP and what we're doing, is where we store our secrets, our keys. Because in the Mojo Loop system, the security is all based on these keys. So where you store them, who's got access to them, when do they expire, and how are they reissued, are things you need to know. And you've got to make sure you own your own keys. So you've got to know where they are and who's got access to them. So this is not meant to scare you, but it might. So this is what a full hub productionized support offering would look like. And the reason why I'm laying it out like this, just so that you get a sense of how much needs to be done. But in practice, you don't need one person for each one of these blocks. In a big organization, they'll have teams for each one of these blocks. But in practice, you often get one or two really good people when you're starting out and you're small, and they do all of this stuff. And I don't know how they do it, or it's quite a lot of work to do, but they manage it. And then as you grow, that one person becomes two, which becomes a smaller team, and like that you scale it out. But what's nice about this is a functional view of all the things that need to happen if you're trying to put a support program together. So the top box, what we got is really your call center, where you're taking in, or sometimes it's not calls, sometimes it's through submitting issues online, but you really, that's your first line of logging an issue into a support system. And there we've got a knowledge base on typical things that have gone wrong and how to overcome them, and so there will be an aspect of that. So we've got a knowledge base, we got the Mojo Loop training program, the community forum. So we sort of have a first level service where you probably might not even need to access the support desk. And then you've got a support desk, and then they can do certain level standard monitoring, and they can do level 2 support as well, and can help manage people through an onboarding process. Then in the middle here, we've got our operational center, and they will do infrastructure support, application support. So if people complain that certain aspects of your software are not running, they can go in and check them out and then log issues and triage it. Implementation of changes. Sometimes you just need to change to keep up to date to make sure that you don't have security vulnerabilities. So that needs to happen. Platform resilience, testing around that, and also implementing those processes when parts of the system go down. Platform performance, so a way of understanding and validating the performance of the system, so that when parts of the system start to slow, you know about them beforehand. Capacity reports. Maybe I shouldn't go through all of this, but access control changes need to be managed by this office. Threat monitoring and threat management, also important aspects. And then they can escalate to your L4. So this middle section's pretty much what we've been talking about beforehand. But then there is this other aspect here, which needs to sit independent to your main service support desk, which sits in the middle. And that is because we also have a segregation of duties where the compliance people, or the people who are deciding what, who are setting the parameters by which the operational center function to, they can't be working for the same team. They need to be working for a different team. In a small organization, this is your CEO. In bigger organizations, this becomes, you have a compliance officer who then makes sure that the right levels and securities and parameters are in place and are being met. And they will have reports and checks into the operational center to make sure that they are meeting those. So the sort of things we're talking about is compliance, reporting, control over where the secrets are and who's got access to them, threat management, change control approvals, and architectural review approvals and threat monitoring. So those are, there's a compliance aspect and a security aspect that fall in this arm. And similarly, on the other side, we've got our service management. If you've got lots of clients, or you've got other, they might be your customers, or they might be other business organizations that you're connecting to, you would have a manager managing that relationship with you, and then you'll be getting out reports about the health of the system and the service that you're offering them, and you're probably going to have regular meetings with them. So, and you will have some service level agreements with those people that you're providing the service to, and you'll be checking to see whether you are meeting those service level agreements, and so providing the right level of service to that organization or person. And then of course you need your release manager and your quality assurance manager. Okay, so that's the whole picture. Are there any questions?
Okay, you talked about adopting tools when you're getting started with the Agile model, but are there any kind of special tools that I need to adopt? I'm assuming I'm using a cloud service provider or a private data center to host this switch. Now, are there any special kind of hardware? Okay, besides the ticketing tool that you talked about, are there any special kinds of hardware or softwares that are even commercial that I need to adopt in order to host this switch?
Um, do you mean specifically for Moduloop, or so the specific hardware you need to run Moduloop?
Specifically for Moduloop.
Okay. There is a lot of specific hardware that you need to be able to run Moduloop. Well, when we say specific hardware, Moduloop actually doesn't define what that hardware is. So Moduloop is deployed. Remember, on your machine, you've got Docker Compose, which are running these container D images, and then we've got Kubernetes, Helm deployment scripts that enable you to configure Kubernetes to be able to run that whole mechanism. None of that actually specifies your hardware. So what's nice about the Moduloop system is it's built on a hardware agnostics platform. So when you're talking about actual hardware, there's lots of ways of doing it. You can host it in any managed Kubernetes cloud environment. Amazon have got one, Google Cloud's got one, Azure's got one, and you might find that there's local companies that also provide it. So anyone who's got a managed Kubernetes cloud platform, you can deploy Moduloop in there. If you don't want to use a managed Kubernetes environment, you can deploy your own Kubernetes environment onto virtual machines that are hosted by other cloud platforms, or local cloud platforms, or you can run bare metal, which is an on-prem solution for Kubernetes. So yes, you need Kubernetes, but exactly how that fits together is not defined by Moduloop. When you're putting a productionized, highly resilient system with no single point of failure together, there's even more you need to think about. So you can't just think about the hardware that it's running on. You've got to think about how many different redundant systems am I running in different locations. So normally the rule is you've got to have 3 different server environments that are physically in different places. And then how do you update the data between them? How do you configure the systems? And then all of the applications that you deploy need to be able to work in those 3 different zones, or need to have similar levels of redundancy. So one of the easiest ways to get there is to use managed service providers, because they give a lot of these things for you. But sometimes through regulation or through necessity in the solution you're providing, you can't do that, and then you've got to do it on-prem, or you've got to use your own hardware and software. So how you go about that it's not really defined by Moduloop, but certainly something that you need to think about. The reason why it's not defined by Moduloop is because they can't. They don't understand your situation specifically, and they can't design an exact hardware solution for your space. So productionized Moduloop implementations with no single point of failure and fully redundant and like a 2 or 3 second availability time. In other words, if parts go down, then they restore and come up. I mean, that requires a specialist who can design it for your requirements in the environment that you need. So there's no shortcuts, and it'll be very different if you take exactly that same, let's say you get one designed up and it suits your needs, and then you try and apply it to someone else. There's a good chance they will need something different, because they want to use it in a different way, or because of the cost constraints they need a different style of database, or they're happier with reduced availability. So if, for example, if you're happy with the system going down for 15 minutes and then taking that long to come back up, it means you don't have to have online redundant systems. You've got to make sure you don't lose any data, but you can have a sort of a reboot mechanism that can happen in 15 minutes. So it changes your whole design and approach. And people, this is something guys build careers on. So it's not a small task, and needs to be done properly and seriously, because there's people's money at stake. It's not just their money, because they won't lose money, but being able to pay means people are allowed to use their own money. So what happens if your system's broken and a person needs to admit somebody urgently into hospital and they need to make a payment and they can't because their money's tied up in your system and it's not working? So making payments reliably does affect people's lives. So if you are taking this on, you need to understand where your risks are and the level of availability that you provide, and you need to make sure that you provide a service and meet those requirements through the technical hardware design that you put together. Are there other questions?
My question is, when an L1 service fails to resolve a solution within a time frame, is it revoked, or one has to wait until it responds, or it goes automatically to an L2 platform?
So you're saying if a level 1 support issue hasn't been resolved, does it automatically go to a level 2? Normally, a level 1 issue gets logged and somebody has a look at it, one of your support guys. And the first thing they do is they run through on the defect triage process and apply it to the issue. And the reason why they're doing it is they're trying to work out whether it's a level 1 support issue or it's a level 2, or and then they can put together a plan on how to deal with it. And so it won't. It depends on the process flow and how you set it up as to whether it automatically escalates. It doesn't have to. If you've got someone looking at it, they can manually do the escalation. And your alert mechanisms, if you have a problem that your support staff aren't responding to issues, you can have alert mechanisms around that. So it's really up to you. So when you're putting the organization together and you're deciding on that defect triage escalation flow and how much of it's automated, how much of it is manual, the tools nowadays, even the most basic one, have got all the features in it. So if you've got a ticketing tool, all of the ones I've seen have ways that you can automatically escalate and then trigger off alerts and notify people. So that's the nice thing about modern day software now, is you get pretty much all of that, and it's really, if you're running an operational support desk, it's up to you to make sure that those flows are in fact applicable for your business, and you get the right escalation at the right time. But it's the right question to ask. How does that escalation happen? Is important. Are there any other questions? Okay, I think we're a little early, which is Much better than last week where we were always late. Okay. Let's just, yep. Oh, I do have 2 more slides. I completely forgot about it. Okay, so we got, how do operations affect a PISP business? And I've got one, it's actually only 1 slide. So the operational requirements for a DFSP are significantly more than a PISP. I think I need to be clear about that up front. And that's because you don't have accounts. And so you're not tying up people's money. What you are doing is providing a safer, easier way that they can make payments using your software rather than through traditional systems. But those traditional systems are still there. But as a PISP and as your business offering, you want people to use the system. And if your system stops functioning and people stop being happy with it, then they'll stop using it and use other means. So that side of your business, it becomes important. So you're providing a service that is more convenient than other payment methods. There's a trust relationship that you need to nurture, and there's 2 trust relationships. So as the PISP FinTech, you've got a trust relationship with your customer that you need to nurture. And that means that your system needs to be working, and they need to believe that it is better than the traditional payment methods. And if it is, then they'll use your system. If it isn't, then they probably won't. So for you to stay in business and to continue with your service, you've got to maintain that trust relationship. And to do that, you've got to ensure uptime reliability and make sure that you manage your risk and mitigation. And similarly, you've got a trust relationship with the payer DFSP, for whom you've got ability to make payments from on behalf of the payer. If they don't trust you, they will block you so that you can't initiate payments, because they can, because they know who it is before they agree to proceed. So so you got to make sure that this trust relationship happens and maintain it. And that's all around the secrets, you know, making sure that that when you say this is payer, that it is that payer. So really the PISP is about maintaining both of those trust relationships, and all of the other things that we spoke about apply because of that. So, but specifically these that are pointed out. So incident management, threat management, threat monitoring, threat management, making sure that there's no compromises on your security, and then who's got access to my secrets and when do they expire and how they're reissued are important concepts that you need to have built into your system. Any questions about that? Okay. Great. I think we're done. So I'm going to hand over back to Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Did we understand everything? Because no questions means you either understood or you didn't understand anything. Did we understand? Yeah? Who can give me a summary of what he was talking about? Who? Why not you? Are we good? Yeah? Any questions? What is hard? The integrations? Remember, you have to add this in your solutions. Okay, we are going to have a mentor next. Let me see. At 2, we are having a mentor, so we are going to have 1 minute for stretching. Ivan is going to help us again. Then after that, 1 minute, I think we can have a team or 2 or 3 as we wait for our mentor. So Ivan, come and stretch us, help us stretch. Hurry, hurry. Let me see which team is next. Financial education, you're the ones next after Ivan's exercise. So let us get up. We stand up. Let us not be lazy. Let us stand up and stretch, all of us. Okay, Ivan is going to take us through, so.
Okay, since we are all from eating food, let's first stand straight. We all breathe in.
When they call upon you, please come fast. Where's the other mic? After FEP, FinHub, you prepare.
Hi everyone, Asimwa Maureen. Kawes Patrick and Anita, Team Financial Education Platform for Women, and Yuzaki. So we have 3 cases here. User, who is going to be any woman or women, is going to register or create an account, logs into the platform, accesses the learning content, takes quizzes, tracks learning progress, manages expenses, and manages savings. Then the financial institutions, they can access our user wallet and receive payments from the user. Then the administrator will manage the content, manage users, configure the platform, and manages payment gateway. Is a flow diagram. So the user will log in. After logging in, we get the user details, then we check authenticity. If it fails, goes back, logs in. If it registers and its success, comes to our platform, then we are notified, and this user is going to access the content, everything that is on the platform, either logs out or maybe does the what? Accesses her mobile wallet, yes, like that. Then maybe she can log out. Let's go. Data model. Then the data model, this is the relationship. The relationship between the customer and the product, it's many to one. Many to one. So many customers can access a certain product at a certain period of time. Then we have a relationship between customers and the financial institutions, between the financial institution and the payment and the service providers. Then the journey map, the stages of journey, activities. We want
Good afternoon, everyone. The customer journey map of financial education platform. The stage of the journey is a motivation. A customer will be motivated to access learning materials, to track their expenses, and also manage their savings. So they will be motivated to access the internet, and they will type the keywords in the internet relating to what they are looking for. Then after, they will be very excited to look for the materials. Then after searching the internet, they will be unhappy because of different options which are available, or different tabs which are gonna be provided. Then customer or anyone will click the first option, that is search engine optimization. They will check out different materials, different services which are provided by the platform, and they will be very excited to access the materials. Then they will evaluate the system, services, and finally they will either subscribe to the premium or pay for any services or make different transactions according to what they want. The experiences, the customer.
Thank you so much.
Are you proud of your presentation? Yes.
Yes.
Right? Okay, we have some comments for you. So we still have so many other teams to go through. Kindly go back and read through the comments. Okay? All right. FinHub, quickly. A round of applause for Feb.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Team FinHub, and I'll go straight to the point. This is our use case. We identify two actors. That's the student and the admin. So the student is able to log in, pay membership fee, save the money, and request for loans. But when you request for loans, you have to complete your personal profile because we don't give loans to non-students. So you're also able to view financial documents and withdraw money. On the other hand, the admin logs in, he verifies the loan requests, he verifies the student's profile to make sure they're actually students, and he uploads the articles that these students will view for their financial knowledge, and he also views the summary of all the data transactions that take place in the system.
This is our student saving journey map. So an example, I'm looking at a fresher who has just joined campus and doesn't have a laptop, and they want to save for their laptop. So they are informed about FinHub, so they download the app, then they sign up, and then they are required to pay membership fee. But at first they are reluctant, but they later pay because they know what they want. Then after they set the goal, the time and when to withdraw the money after the goal has been reached. Then after they explore the saving tools, they transact the money either from their mobile money to FinHub account. So they keep seeing the progress of how far they have reached saving towards their goal, and they continue interacting with the app so that they can keep connected with the app. Then if they kept financially disciplined, they later achieve their goal of saving for their laptop.
Okay, so I'm looking at Mother. Zahara has told Mother about the FinHub app. Mother has downloaded the app, so I'll start with the part of signing in. So when Mother downloads the app, she will start with the onboarding screens. She signs in, she signs up actually, then she registers. Having registered, a verification code will be sent to her email. If she's Mother, like her email says, it will have to confirm and she will have to go to the payment of the membership fees. But then if she has not verified the email, she will have to go back to the sign-in. Then after paying the membership fee, she will have to look at the 3 activities. What has she come to do with FinHub? Has she come to save, to get a loan, or to withdraw? You're welcome.
Thank you. First come and see. Okay, so you go to the other. There's something I don't understand with the data model. Data model. The articles. Are you selling articles?
They're just, we are offering financial knowledge, so it's just articles that they'll be reading on.
It's okay. Then I pray.
Thank you so much, FinHub and Financial FEPW. Our mentor is here, so we are now going to go for mentorship session. We resume at 3, the remaining teams, yeah? When you come here, just go straight to the point. Just present the diagrams, be very fast. Don't look here and there so that we can give everyone an opportunity to present. Miss Angela, please, you're welcome.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Are you okay? Tired, not tired? Full from lunch, not full? Okay, so I'm sorry, I lost my voice today morning, so in case you can't hear me, just tell me to be a bit louder. My name is Mercy Angela Nantongo. I'm a product manager, so today we're going to be talking about product management. But I want our session to be a bit interactive, so I'll ask questions and I hope you put up your hands and answer. Also, if I speak too quickly, just tell me to slow down. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, that's it. Still loading. Okay. So today we want to kind of just introduce you guys to product management. So by show of hands, has anybody heard of product management before? Yeah? Only one person? 2, 3, okay. Even you? Okay, cool. You too? All right, so is anyone willing to tell us what they think about product management? Like, what does it mean? Okay, I guess we can start. So how will I? I should give you a brief history of myself before I start asking questions.
Sorry, Angela, to interrupt you. Please let us slant our laptops a little bit. We don't need laptops right now. Don't close them, just bend them a little bit and let us try to pay attention.
Thanks. Okay, yeah. So before we start, a slight small introduction. You already know my name. I'm a product manager. I also like to call myself an emerging media technologist. That just means that I dabble in new media. So, you know, audio, video production, websites and stuff like that. That's what I did in school. Sometimes, depending on the role I'm playing, I will work as a project manager, but there is a difference between the two. So if you guys want to explore that, we can also explore how you can differentiate between a product role and a project management role. As a product manager, I've worked on fintech solutions, I've worked on access to markets, and I've also worked in e-commerce. And the industries I've worked in, currently I'm working for a non-profit. I just moved there. Before that, I was working in agricultural technology with a company called Easy Agric. I've also worked in FMCG, which is fast-moving consumer goods, so for a company that did retail and that stuff. And then I've also worked in marketing with marketing technology. So I have experience in a number of industries, and I think it serves me well in my role as a product manager, because it means that I'm not too specified in one thing, that I can't broaden my perspective. So today we're just going to be talking about what it means to be a product manager. So for me, it becomes who is a product manager, what kind of person embodies the role well, and what I personally think works for me that makes me excel in the role. We'll also discuss what a product manager does and the things that are entailed in that kind of thing. Then we shall talk about why product management is important as you're building your business, as you're building your products, and how it can inform the decisions you can make to be successful. And then we shall talk about how to thrive as a product manager. Okay, so back to the question I'd asked. Can someone tell us what they know about product management before I give you my perspective?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nachsanze Daisy. Yes, Inftex Empowerment Hub. Okay, it's a website that promotes financial inclusion among women in Africa. Okay. Yeah, for what I know about product management is, it is the process of overseeing the creation and successful launching of the system.
Thanks, Daisy. You can speak.
Right, thank you. I'm Peter Waswasemakula. What I can say about project.
What's your product?
It's called eFuel.
Okay.
What does
it do?
It lends fuel to border riders.
Okay.
So product management, according to me, I would say is it's a process that includes designing, developing, and executing a product throughout a product life cycle, like the development life cycle, to ensure that that product meets the customer needs. All right, thank you.
Cool, thanks. Over there. I'll come back that way. Hi.
Hi, my name is Lisa Kaitesi. Our product is Mama's Daily Cookie. I am a product manager. So product management is a business process that involves the planning, developing, and managing of a product while focusing on the product itself and the customers. So it's majorly the product life cycle, overlooking it.
Yes, good afternoon, all of you. I'm Linda Namanja Patricia. So, in my opinion, product management involves many things. I could say it's a process that involves going through the product life cycle. That is the planning, or the designing, development, and also the deploying. And also it pushes to the also marketing goes under that. That's all I know about it.
Does somebody have a definition that does not involve product life cycle, or we're now? All right. So I think pretty much all the definitions I've had are quite what product management is about. It does involve the product life cycle, and it's kind of you become the caretaker of this product, but from the customer's perspective. So I like to say that a product manager is the customer's voice within the organization. And different people will be like, but then what does, customer success or customer support do? What does marketing do? What do the research people do? Yesterday I had a new one, because I moved into the nonprofit sector. Someone was like, but that's what M&E people do. But it's not. It's just that you end up touching a bunch of these things and then trying to figure out how do you fulfill the customer's needs and requirements with all these different groups that work at building the product. So quickly, the difference between a product manager and, let's say, customer support is usually customer support deals with after sales. So after you have convinced the customer to start using the product, that's when you can hand over the product to, let's say, customer support or marketing or sales. But before you validate that this is exactly what your users want, usually it's the product manager who is in charge of most of these processes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Happy from Safe and Free, and I have a question for you. Safe and Free is a web platform that offers affordable and stigma-free sexual reproductive health services to the youth. So I would like to ask, what's the difference between a product manager and a quality analyst?
Has everybody heard her question? She'd like to know what's the difference between a product manager and a quality analyst. So depending on the organization you work with, for some QA, which is quality analysis, people will work with a development team. So there will be developers. So if the company is big enough, they will write scripts, and these scripts, you guys know scripts because you are coding, yeah. And these scripts will go through the requirements that were given and then make sure that they fulfill the user story. So they'll run scripts to kind of debug or test the bugs and then make sure that the thing is bug-free before it's released into production. In other companies, it's a manual thing where the developers will say we are done with the requirements, and then somebody will actually test it out before it goes into production. Production is the term that developers use for things that are ready for public deployment, right? So a product manager, I have played a QA role before in terms of we didn't have enough staff in the organization. So when I gave the developers what to do, they gave it back to me and I tested to make sure it fulfilled what I wanted it to do. And that usually then even ties into what we call a user acceptance test, which is what you can do it in-house, but then also you go to the user who commissioned the work and say, can you test our product and make sure it fulfills the things that you thought it was going to fulfill? Yeah. So sometimes as a career path, people will move from developer to QA, quality analysis, to product analyst, and then to product manager. It just depends on how you start and where to start. But yeah, so QA is usually involved strictly with making sure that this product that you guys are about to deploy meets the standards and the quality that was planned for when you started the sprint. A product manager will make sure that works, plus other things, right? Makes sense? Any other questions? Feel free to ask me questions anytime. As I said, I want this to be interactive. So where was I actually? Okay, yeah. So product managers are touching on different points and life cycles of the product. And that starts from development all the way to post-launch. So until you have commercialized, which for different companies means different things, but until you're at a point when you feel like the product can grow on its own, most likely a product manager is still going to be very highly involved in making sure everything moves. So you'll be the one liaising with the developers, you'll be the one talking to the marketing team, you'll be the one getting buy-in even from the staff within the company. Usually when a company gets big enough, there will be people who are like, I don't know what your thing does. And you know, when there's an issue, they're like, your product does not work. So you have to get buy-in from the staff so that when they are facing the customers and talking about your product, they are talking about it in good ways and not saying, Nanga Simani, why they're forcing this thing on us. You get it? Yeah, because it happens. At least it has happened to me. So, what does a product manager do? There's things I call obligations, there's things I call skills, and there's things I call deliverables. So when I talk about obligations, what I mean is your job is to find data-backed problems. So I could have said to find problems, but you know, sometimes somebody's using your website and they're like, I don't know why the color is not green. Then you're like, oh my God, every customer wants the color to be green. It turns out it's actually only one person. And then now all the other guys are like, I don't know why they changed the product. So because I'm very much into tech, I have like my favorite apps. Like Twitter was one of my favorite apps. Now, I don't know. One of my favorite apps in Uganda is Safe Border. So anytime they make a new UI change, there's usually a bug. So I call my friend and I'm like, guys, why did you know? So sometimes it's just one customer who is complaining about a thing, right? And then you think this is a large-scale problem that you need to fix and spend resources on. So what you have to start learning how to do as a product manager is you collect all these different problems and then start segregating them into high priority, low priority, medium priority, depending on how many people say they want this new feature, how many people say this problem bugs them, how many people say that they want this change or this, roll back into the previous version of the product. So you need to find data-backed problems, and data is numbers, so that you make the right decision, not just on sentimental value. Another thing that a product manager has to do is you have to plan and execute solutions. So once you find problems, you then start to realize you don't have enough resources to fix everything at the same time. And resources in development or building a business, if it's a tech business, it's going to be, do you have enough developers or engineers to do the work? Do you have the money? For example, if you want to scale and say we want to move to like AWS, do you have the money to pay for AWS? If you don't, you're going to, keep it low level. So you need to figure out, do you have the developers, the money, the support staff before you make a particular decision? And also time is a huge resource. So a lot of the time you start to figure out, okay, what are my quick wins, things that I can get done in 2 weeks sprint or a month, and then I roll that out fast, as in the background we are working on the things that are going to take a longer time. So you have to plan and then prioritize the problems. There are different matrices that people use to get to how to prioritize on high priority, medium, and low, and then after that you execute. So execution is sometimes you're like, okay, we need this new feature for A, B, C, D. So for example, it's safe and free. You can realize people want maybe interactive games, right? Like in terms of they want to interact with the content versus just reading it. Maybe they'll understand it better if, they click this, they get a feedback. Then you figure out, okay, do we need to put it there or do we not to put it there? Like, is it urgent? Is it not urgent? Is it important? Is it not important? Can we afford to do it? Can we not afford to do it? Because sometimes also what happens is we get stuck in the idea that our first product has to be perfect. So you're like, unless my product, calls on these APIs, I won't release it. Let's say Momo APIs. I'm sure you guys are working with, mobile money APIs in this hackathon. You could say we won't launch without us having direct integration. But direct integration could take you, let's say, another month. But you could technically launch today. My advice would be launch today with the systems you have, set up your codes, whatever, and then when somebody clicks order, you call them and say, send the money to this as you're building, versus you sit on, your heels and wait until the very end when you have everything in place to then roll out. Because usually what happens is problems keep coming. There's always going to be bugs, there's always going to be blockers, so it's best to push out and then fix as you're rolling, but then prioritizing it right is what matters. The other obligation that you have to have as a product manager is you need to meet your users' needs or your customers' needs. Because at the end of it all, that's your boss. Your job is to represent them in the company, so you're their voice, which means you are extensively talking to your user, and then when they give you feedback, and it's data-backed, because many people have asked for something or have complained about something, your job is then to figure out how do we, as the company, make this work for our users so that we can keep them happy. There's something my boss used to always tell me: people don't pay for things they don't want or need. So if people are not paying, it's because whatever it is you're offering them is not it. You get it? It's not because they have no money. People pay for data these days. Remember those days when we had Facebook Zero? Now you're hooked, right? You're paying for data every day to okay, I don't know if people still use Facebook, to be honest, but you get what I'm saying, right? So when people want or need your product, and that's because it actually serves their needs, they will pay for it. So you have to make sure you're always meeting their needs. Otherwise, you're just building for your personal comfort. And the other thing that a product manager you have to really focus on and be serious about is you need to meet your company's business needs. So actually your job is to meet the customer's needs and meet the company's business needs. So whatever it is a customer needs, it has to make monetary sense for whatever it is you're building. You're not a charity. you don't have grants, though you could have grants, but grants are supposed to help you get to a sustainable level where your income can sustain the company. So you always have to make sure whatever it is you're doing, is it going to help you and the organization earn more revenue? So if you have decided that our job is to, I don't know, let's say it's an e-commerce company, and you're saying that the goal for this year is to make this amount of money in revenue, either with subscriptions or with commissions, depending on how your model is. If whatever it is you're building is not working towards increasing the revenue to that set number, you're doing nothing, because you're not meeting the business's needs, which means the business could crash and burn, and you'd have no job. So make sure that what you're building for the customer fits into what the business also needs. Cool. Does anybody have questions about these obligations? Nobody? You guys understand everything? Okay. That's good. All right. So skills that I think are important. You have to be very empathetic. Does somebody know what empathy means? Okay. Someone tell us. Someone who hasn't spoken before. Okay.
Okay, empathy means putting your shoes in the legs. Oh, putting your legs. putting your legs in the shoes of the user. Yeah.
So can you give me an example for your product?
Okay, now for my product, ForExpress. First of all, what we do is that we are going to ease cross-border financial transactions in Eastern Africa. So now, of course, I'll first of all imagine, what would my user want? One, you're stuck. You need a forex exchange company that can instantly convert your currency, right? Yeah, convert and send, right? And then also looking at other forex companies that you already have at the moment, you find that most of them are very expensive. Like most of them are, have all those inconsistencies and all that. So now me as a product manager, I'd be like, okay, well, what does this customer need? You get? What are the challenges that they're facing with other apps? So what can I bring? What new thing can I bring on board to solve that problem? Yeah.
Thank you. So thanks for letting me know about ForExpress. ForExpress, how do you say it? ForExpress. Hey, guys. That name, eh? So, funny story. At the end of the last year, as in Lagos, it was at the very beginning of when they were removing cash from the economy. I don't know how it is now, but because of that process, their money, okay, they've also been having a lot of bad inflation, but it's gotten that much worse. I think earlier at the beginning of 2022, it was like 1 to 10, so 1 naira to 10 Uganda shillings. Now it's almost like 5 or 6. It's that bad. But when I was there, I couldn't get more than 200K equivalent out of the ATM. And I did not go with money. Don't ask me why. So I needed money from the ATM. It wasn't working. So I figured I should sign up for one of these apps and move money from Uganda to, I tried Send by Flutterwave. I have Eversend. What other app did I try? All of them. I signed up, and that was the end. I heard back from them about my sign-up process 2 weeks after I'd come back to Uganda. So those are one of my issues. You don't have to answer that question. I'm just telling you, that's an issue your customers will have. I think a lot of the time, the quickest onboarding you're going to have is somebody who currently needs the service, not someone that is thinking about the service but needs it immediately. So if your customer is stuck somewhere, needs to move their money, and then you're going to get back to them about their sign-up, you have all the verification things. You've gotten the ID, everything. Why is it taking 2 weeks for me to get the money? Anyway, just know I didn't buy anything in Nigeria at that time. I just came back and I was like, guys, sorry, forget about it. But yeah, so that's the thing you have to look out for. How quick is your onboarding process? Otherwise, that's the end. All right, cool. So you have to be empathetic. You have to be very strategic. Because you're going to meet the needs of your business and the needs of your customer, you have to now start figuring out, for me what I call it is you speak the language of the person that is listening to you at that moment. Usually as a product manager, you have to report to the senior management team or the C-suite, as other guys call it. When you're talking to a CEO, you're not telling them like low-level problems of, Nantongo failed to sign up. They want to know, okay, how much money is Nantongo bringing? You get it? So when you're speaking to senior management team, you're speaking to them in the language or the words they want to hear. When you're speaking to your user, you're being empathetic and being like, I understand what you're saying, we're working on it, those things. When you're speaking to your colleagues that are going to help you make your product successful, like the developers, you're going to probably want to know how to speak to developers. I usually tease my developers by telling them they speak in very 1 zeros. It's like, do X so that I get Y. They don't want to hear that why you want to get Y, yet it would help them maybe inform how they're building. But all the time, they just like, give me instructions, I give you that deliverable. So speak to them like that as well to move your work along, right? So you have to be strategic in your communications, but then also in the things you choose to focus on. You have to optimize. There's a question. Sorry, my bad, I'm blind.
Thank you. We are talking about being strategic. My name is Mariam Dagire, and from Team If You Will. You were talking about being strategic, striking a balance between the customers and your company. Imagining there's always going to be conflicting loyalties that are coming up. Which side are you going to side with in case you can't strike a balance between the two? Thank you.
Give me an example with If You Will, when you'd have conflicting loyalties.
Let's say it would be more easier if I used like a big company, and for example, I work with any IT company and they have rolled out, let's say, your budget to like 12 million, and you go out into the market and your customers need this thing that is going to be way more than the budget. But as you communicated, we are developing for the customers, so you have to include them first. How are you solving that? Are you siding with the customer, or you're working within the means of your company?
Before I answer, does anybody want to answer her? No? Okay. So usually why there's budget constraints is because somebody is not yet convinced that this thing you think the customer needs is as important as you're making it, right? And also, just on the side, the budgets are always going to be cut. That's especially tech budget. Nobody understands what tech people are doing. So you have to prepare. Even in tech companies, finance doesn't want to hear about your things, you know. So you have to work within the budget. There's no way around it. And you cannot work on that thing because of the money. So you need to figure out, okay, in these things the customer wants. For example, you could say the customer wants a whole new, let's use a watch, smart watches. They want a whole new watch design. This one is not working currently. You can't change that. But can you change the interface of the current watch you have to a little bit mimic what you get? So what I would say is, in that major thing you think the customer needs, there's probably little different parts, like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. Find the one that's going to be the most impactful for the customer. So what is it going to be that is going to convince them? Let me give these guys a chance. Work on that first. Work on that first, you get the traction from the customer end, then you can push and ask for more money this side, because now everyone is seeing what you're seeing. Yeah, but a lot of the time, the money is never going to be enough. Even you'll be like, I need money to go to the field and talk to the customers. They're going to be like, no. So are you going to call the customer? Are you going to email them? Or are you going to just be like, let's chill? You have to make that decision. Yeah. Okay. So optimize, which is kind of that, right? Work within the budget. So optimize with the resources you have so that you figure out how do we deliver what the customer wants, even if it's not the entire thing. How do you deliver half of what the customer wants that will make them 80% happy? So there's this theory that people have, which is 20% gives you 80%. It has something else, like it's not exactly that, but it's like 20% of the work gives you 80% of the deliverables. So same thing with, optimizing, yeah? That 20% of the grander thing is actually what the customer really wants. All right, another thing is you're going to evaluate, which is just using data to back your decisions. So when you develop a product, put it out, you launch it, you have to quickly start tracking the things that are important to you. Is it usage? Is it like time in app? Some people think sign-ups are okay. Some guys are like, how long does my customer stay within the app? Because that's when I can trap them into something else. So quickly start tracking your metrics and then evaluate, is this thing successful or is it not successful? If it's not working out like you thought, dump it. Literally just let go. So as a product manager, you have to be, what is it called in Luganda? You have to have a mtima, eh? You can't have a mtima munafu, eh? Like, because you work so hard on something, you believe it's the right thing, and then customers don't care. They really don't care. They're not using it. They don't want to hear about it. They don't care. They're not paying for it. So you have to quickly let it go and start working on something new. So even with your building now, you keep getting feedback from, the technical people that are going to help you. And once you realize it's important to let it go, just let it go. Maybe you can come back to it 2 years later when it's the right time in the market. But yeah, you have to advocate for the customer. So sometimes you get pushback from senior management, from finance, from the marketing, from the sales team. But if you're really convinced that this is what the customer wants, you have to stand up on your 2 feet and be like, no, this is what we're doing. It doesn't matter if you are, a product associate or a junior product manager. You are the most important person for that product you're running. So you have to be able to stand up to people, no matter who they are, and say, no, this is what the customer wants. It fits within our company's priorities, so we're going to work on it. Otherwise, you move like the wind, and you never deliver. So you have to advocate for what is right and stand up for it. All right, market. So I really believe that for a thing to launch properly, people have to be ready for it. And sometimes you have to induce the readiness, right? People are not always ready. Sometimes people don't even know their problems. So you have to be really good at sweet talking your customers. One, to test out your product for you to get, like beta results. But also two, to try it out and then you get results. So that okay, I talked to this group of, 10 potential users, convinced them to use it, and now they're happy. And even before you commercialize, you still have to get a few paying customers. Usually, if your product is for paying, right? So you have to convince those first few paying customers to pay. And that is before you involve the marketing team and the sales team. It's going to be your job to market your product and talk about it so well that people are convinced to give it a chance. Right. So, anybody have any questions about the skills you need as a product manager or something I might have missed out? Nope. Cool. Deliverables. So these are very abstract things, but it is what it is. You're delivering on the vision, on the strategy, on the design, and the execution. So because you own the product, or rather you're guiding the direction of the product, it means you are the one who is going to guide its design. So if you're lucky, you're working with a UX designer or a UX researcher who goes out into the field to talk to the users with you. If not, you're going to do most of that work. So you have to really know what the customer said they want. And sometimes people will tell you, no, I want the color to be green or orange, so that I associate it with these things. Yet what they actually mean is, I can't read the words, like it's actually the font that is the problem. But they're telling you, no, I think if you change it to white or gray, yeah, right? So you have to actually start thinking like your customer. Empathy helps, but you have to start thinking like them until you figure out what is the actual problem they have. Not what they're telling you, but what is it the actual problem they have. And then that guides your design of how you should approach the product. Now, once you design the product, you also have to guide the developers on how to build the product. So some people use user stories. So you say, the user would like to ABCD. Then the developers figure out how to make that work. It works well in some scenarios, sometimes it doesn't. So I use a hybrid depending on which kind of person I'm talking to. There's some developers I have to tell, make the button this size. Otherwise, they're going to give you an alert that takes up half the screen, yet it's like a secondary alert, right? Like a successful. Imagine successful, but it's like half the screen. Some devs will do that for you. So sometimes you have to be very specific about how the design should go and how the execution should go. Other times you can just say, the users would like to pay with mobile money. Then the devs figure out how to do it, the UX, the UI, everything. So it depends on who you're talking to and their level of proficiency in design and thought process, really, and also what you expect from them. So they execute, they deliver back to you, you test, you launch, you roll out, and then you wait for feedback from your customers. What that means is the customer using the product the way you wanted. You know, sometimes, especially if you're working for people who are not as who are not digitally literate as you are, you could say, oh, it makes sense for, the logout button to be here. But then you go out and you're watching your people use your product and you're realizing everyone is looking for it somewhere else. You have to move it, okay? You don't stick to your guns and be like, me, I know it has to be here. If every user you have is looking for something in a different location from where you have it, and you have observed it multiple times, data backed, right? You have to then work for their needs. So this works a lot for if you have clients or end users who are, in remote areas or don't have as many skills as you want. Even actually sometimes the interaction iPhone users have and Android users have is very different. So if you've ever switched between the two systems, there's things you will do, and then you're like, why is it not working? But that's not how Android moves, you get it? So you have to be very particular about how you're designing and for your actual user and how they act. So a lot of the time people actually do a whole persona. I think you guys have done it here probably. But you know how your person is. They wake up in the morning, scroll their social media, do A, B, C, D. This is how their day runs. Now where do you fit in within your customer's day? How do you make it more convenient for them to come and, So if you know that you get your customer easier by embedding in another product, embed in that product. Don't be opposed to things like collaboration and stuff like that. Because if this is where you best fit into the person's work day or lifestyle, that's where you should be. All right. Deliverables for strategy, I think we have talked about that. Vision is the vision of the company. Where do they want to be? If you know your company wants to be the best for your product in East Africa, and then you're building and your code has had written UGX things, like UGX, it's had built, or the phone numbers, you have hard coded the 256, so you can't put 254 eventually. You're not building for the vision. You get what I'm saying, eh? So if you know you're scaling, you can build some things for scale. If you know that you want to put build other products on top of that, let's say you're building for now, let's say you're building like a mass transit app like bus, and then you know that eventually you want to sell travel insurance. Don't make the thing so difficult that when you want to now include travel insurance, you have to build a whole new app. Build for scale, build for the vision of the company, build for the unachievable dreams, right? Okay, cool. We're going to talk about why, but I think we've kind of been touching on that. Why is a product manager important? I have this thing that I use. A product manager is like the mother of a child, right? There's teachers in school teaching whose specific job is to teach knowledge in particular subjects. There's doctors whose job is to treat diseases as they come up. But as a mother, you're teaching. As a mother, you're healing. You get it? So a product manager is like a parent. Let me not be gender biased, but mothers are best. But a product manager is a parent, right? A parent guides their kid, they direct them, they teach them, they scold them, all these things. They are like the main manager. That's why many musicians end up having their parents as their managers, but it's a bad decision. But a product manager is like the way your parent would kind of guide you through childhood to make you successful. So there's other people who are in place, like marketing staff, like customer service, like engineers, like designers, etc., that are going to help you make sure that this product is the best thing ever. But you are going to be the northern star. You're going to be the guiding light until commercialization, when you can move on to other things. So for me, that's what a product manager is. It involves things like giving direction, insight, strategy, support, etc. I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think a product manager is? Or why do you think a product manager is important for the work you're doing? I'd like to see raised hands. And I would like to hear from you, who is a product manager. Why do you think it's important for your...
All right. According to our product, I would think a product manager is so important because it would really help us find out whether the product is going to meet the needs of the user as expected, because such information would also help us to see whether we can make money out of our product, because that's the main goal at the end of the day. Thank you.
So do you have a product manager within the eFuel team, or is someone...
Currently, no.
Okay, who is doing that work then?
Someone else who's not around here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Is there any insights you'd like to give us about what you thought the customer needed and then what you're doing now that you have done some research?
Actually, before us coming up with the idea, we had to first ask a few border riders, and they bought the idea of always getting fuel on loan and pay later after they have worked. So, and we are trying our best, of course, to come up with a digital solution that will do exactly that. Yeah, but according to them, it was a good idea. And since we are doing it for them, then why not? Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody from this side? Okay. But also somebody who has not spoken yet. Otherwise, I'll just pick on somebody.
Hi, once again. A product manager, on my end, I usually compare it to project management. As much as they're different, there's a bit of a similarity with project management. So as a product manager, it's important to have a product manager because it helps the other people, the other team members, to be able to achieve exactly what they were supposed to achieve, like going through the entire process from the planning. Without the product manager, most of these people will be either lost or they will be doing something that is not needed. So the product manager helps it like stay in line.
Thank you. Pass up the mic, should like to speak. So as the mic is coming up, I would like to talk a bit more about the difference between a product manager and a project manager. If you've heard of the word Scrum Master, that's what a project manager is, right? Their job is to make sure you fall within the given timelines, the given budget. Like you work with the resources or the constraints that you have, since most times resources are constrained. So if it's a large enough organization, as a product manager, you will have project managers that are working on that. Let's say, like, for example, Twitter homepage, right? That's a product. But Twitter homepage also has the tweet box, you know, the one where you actually say what is happening. Let's use Twitter homepage on web. It has the tweet box, then it has the timeline, then it has the side which has the trending topics. You can find that all those things could have different product managers. And or to have one main product manager, but then they'll have different teams, like developer teams working on those different things. So a project manager will keep them in line with, we were given a 2-week timeline, you're going to make it work, and then, so like that. So with the product manager, usually they won't tell you to think too highly or too strictly on budgets and things. You're supposed to be thinking for the customer and thinking big. Of course, eventually you have to scale it down because you have to give something that's going to work for the company. But usually, your job is not very tied on the controls. It is on what is the output that is coming out. Does it work for what your customer wants? So yeah. You may speak now.
Okay. For me, like you've just explained, it's like he or she is an ambassador of the users of that particular product. Like for example, our product manager is not with us here, but he gives us feedback from what the users want, and he makes sure that whatever is taking place in the production team is in line with what the users want. He updates us. He does pilot studies in different areas and tells us you should change this, this, and this. Yeah,
So what feedback have you gotten from your users since you started working on this?
Well, good enough. It's very positive. There is a lot of positive feedback coming from the users, especially the target market. Of course, he moves in the target market, so they're like they've been waiting for such a product to start using it, and we are the answer now.
Okay. I can't wait for the final showcase. But guys, look for problems, okay? Don't think that, if users are telling you everything is okay, they're lying. things are not okay. It's very rare that things are perfectly fine. You get it? Another thing you can do is, a lot of the time I ask people who are your competitors. I never want to hear personally that you think you have no competitors, because even an Excel document is a competitor, okay? If you have a record-keeping application, how are you going to move from Excel to your application? That's a competitor. So usually if you think you have no problems or your customers are perfectly happy with what you're offering, reverse the question and think, okay, my competitors, what if we're not happy with what the service they're getting from them or the product? Why do they wish they had that we can then build our product on, right? And also sometimes you have to question, there's a reason your product is not in the market, because it's not useful, it's not viable commercially. So you have to also figure out a way to find out, why haven't my competitors who have more money, more resources, and everything more, why haven't they not done this yet? But hearing positive feedback only, approach with caution. People are liars. Okay, does anybody want to tell me why else product management is important? Or what you have learned from your customer feedback?
First, we haven't gotten any feedback, but then, campus, we offer online laundry services. You order and then we come and wash your clothes, especially for students, campus students. So I feel adoption is so paramount, and then a product manager will ensure that out there, for us to know that actually the app is, people are adopting to it, the problems they are finding while using it, and all that, so that we can improve where necessary and adjust where necessary. Yeah. It's an app, yes. We chose an app because we feel it's way much better than a website. I mean, accessing it is easier than a website.
Okay. As a product manager, always ask yourself why 5 times. I don't want to put you on the spot, that's why I've left you, but I would ask you 5 whys on why do you think it's easier. I've not yet had the answer. You get it? So ask yourself, why is an app easier than a website for you to build, for your users to use? I don't want to give you my personal bias. But how big is the average phone in terms of memory for a campus student? 64 GB, 32 GB, 64, 32. No one is saying 16, eh? Okay. How many of your friends, from 1 to 10, delete apps, especially when they're receiving pictures? Just food for thought. Okay, I need to wind up. So how do you succeed at product management? Okay, that is, you have to influence effectively between the customer, the technology, and the business. So, as I said, you speak the language of the business owners, the senior management team, you speak the language of the customer, and then because we're building technology products, you have to blend in well with the developers, otherwise they won't respect you. And no, you don't have to be a developer. And you don't have to have domain knowledge in the industry you're working in. That's why I told you earlier, I've worked in marketing, I've worked in agriculture, I've worked in consumer goods, I'm now working for an NGO. You don't have to have domain knowledge, you just have to be good at learning and good at picking up the cues, even non-verbal cues. Yeah, so you have to be the in-between, the intersection between, and then you have to be able to influence effectively. People have to listen to you and believe you about why you're convinced about a particular thing. Even with customers, you collect feedback and you tell them, we're going to work on it. In fact, in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks come, and guess what? You have to reprioritize, you need more time. You have to be able to go back to the customer and kwewombeka and or tell them lies. But you have to be able to tell them, you know what, wait a moment, it's going to take some time, be patient, we have given you this in the meantime, that kind of stuff. Like the company I just joined, we work with technology vendors, you know, people that are building the apps. So everyone is telling me, oh, you need to start talking to these people because they speak so nicely to us, and then 2 weeks later, there's still nothing. That's the product manager's role. That's why I knew they were working with the product manager. They'll listen to you so well and be like, we're going to work on this, and then 2 weeks later, have they worked on it? No, but you have to keep your customer happy-ish. So yeah, so how you get good is you do a lot of research. So you're always figuring out, in my industry, what are the things that are, you know, trending? What are the new things that have come out? Who are my competitors? You always have competitors, and every day there's a new competitor. Okay, guys? Do not lie to yourselves, you have no competitors. Even for borders, Futsubishi is a competitor. You get, eh? Sometimes they're like, I'd rather walk than pay 5K. Especially campus kids, eh? They'll walk to Acacia, you know. But yeah, so all those are competitors, so you have to figure out who are my competitors and what are they doing, what are the other guys going to do, and then also on top of that, there is the big players, you know? Whatever idea you have, how quickly can Facebook do it and take you out of the market? How quickly can Google do it and take you out of the market? But then not just Google, how quickly can, you know, Mama Nancha, if you will, how quickly can Shell replicate your idea and take you out of the market? You get, eh? Yeah. So research, then prioritization, you choose what is the most important that will give you quick wins in terms of what will get the customer happy and patient enough to wait for the other things, right? Then, as you can see, the larger portion of your life is literally meetings, or AKA stakeholder engagements. You're just talking and talking and talking, and promising and promising and promising, and then you talk some more. So you'll be in a lot of meetings because you're meeting with the devs, you're meeting with the customers, you're meeting with your fellow staff, and you're keeping everybody at peace and in sync with what you want to be delivered. But yeah, that's it from me on product management. Thank you. In case you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, my time is up.
Thank you so much, Marcy. Any questions for her, or you're good? Oh, where's the other mic?
All right, first of all, thank you so much for the session. I would like to know, what does it take for a person to become a product manager? Because since we don't have one, I may also want to become one.
Join the league. First of all, Refactory has a short course that I also tutor in for product management. So in case you're interested in learning more, you can join that. But what it takes, as we said, empathy. You have to be able to put yourself in many different people's shoes and communicate to them effectively. Personally, one of the things I struggle with is communication. I'll read a message and forget to reply it. Same thing with an email. Or I'll be like, no, let me mark it as unread again so that I remember. Then a week passes, right? But you have to get really good at communicating about even every little milestone, right? People want to hear, a lot of people are expecting to hear from you as a product manager, so you have to be on top of those expectations, proactively communicate. Even before they ask, tell them this is the update on this. Even with a customer, be like, okay, we were working on this, it's going to take a while. That's how you get really good and very empathetic, because then people don't feel like they're begging you for information, right? You have to, empathy is key, very, very key. Because that's the time we don't understand people and we think we are the correct ones, especially as business owners, product builders. We're like, usually you're solving your personal pain point, so now you're only building for yourself, yet you're not going to pay the money you want, right? So you have to be able to listen to your customer and then work on that insight you've gotten from them. Another thing I would say is be open to learning, or maybe be open to not being stagnant. So I think I spend half of my time just on Googling. You have to know what's happening in your industry, but not just your industry. Sometimes things from another industry can actually apply to your industry. So, you know, what health tech is coming out? What are people in parliament talking about? Where is the money? Actually, sometimes follow the money, especially as new business owners or people who are just developing a new idea. You won't always have the personal cash to push it. So then you're like, okay, if I'm solving a particular thing, like for example, sexual reproductive health, if you know there's money, maybe in the refugee space, how do you make your thing accessible for refugees? Could help you get money for runway. So follow the money, but also follow where the industry is going. People are talking about AI now. I don't like talking about AI, personally, and machine learning, because many times it's just jazz. You get it? Nothing is really happening. It's just jazz. But right now, they actually are very good, like especially text-based AI tools that are out there. How do you incorporate that so that you can maybe get access to like Microsoft AI funding or Google Foundation AI funding? So follow the money, be very empathetic, listen, learn different skills. Like in university, I took marketing classes, I took management classes. I did do my computer science classes, but I also expanded my horizon. You get it? But yeah, you don't have to be technical to be a product manager. Remove that. You can work in fintech without having an accounting background, without having a banking background, being a no-code person. Just embrace the industry you're currently in and work with it. Any other questions?
So my question is about this term Scrum. You vaguely touched on it. I know it's used in the product life cycle, but how exactly is it used, and how exactly is it used in the product life cycle, Scrum?
Okay. Scrum is just one of the methodologies that people use to develop, right? So it's an agile thing, or lean, those words, right? But it's just a method people use to approach developing. If you approached product development in, we're going to build until we finish, you might never finish. Something new will always come up. So that's what Scrum helps with. Most Scrum has sprints, what they call sprints, which is just a certain period of time when what you said you have to do has to be finished. You get it? So usually companies work in 2-week sprints. Depending on how hectic your product is, it might become a 1-month sprint. But the sprint is, okay, in 14 days, but if you're working on normal working days, in 10 days, you remove the weekends. In 10 days, if we say that the app has to have mobile money, you start development for mobile money, and in 14 days, you are pushing out the code for mobile money into production. So Scrum helps you give, as if smart goals to your product development, yeah? You say, on this, starting from this Monday to the Friday 2 weeks from now, we have to have built the Momo integration, tested it, and pushed it into production in that 2-week window. Then you say, okay, so that way you can prioritize and say, we want to have digital payments. So the first sprint, the first 2 weeks of the month, we shall do Momo integrations. The next one is when we shall focus on card-based payments, versus saying we're going to do everything at one time, and then when you find problems, you get stuck on that problem forever. So that's what kind of Scrum helps with. It's just a way to approach development in 2-week or 1-month windows. Yeah.
We are looking at a product manager as someone who takes feedback from the user. And then I'm wondering, because there is a subject matter expert, could there be any difference between the product manager and the subject matter expert?
Usually you won't have a subject matter expert on stuff on the long run for just one product. They might end up being consultants, you get. Maybe if you're building in fintech, you get someone who has been in the industry for a long time, and then they give you guidance on what has been currently happening in the industry, maybe what are the legal requirements you have to fulfill before you push out things like wallets and stuff like that. But they're not actually, it depends on how the company approaches it. Also, different companies have different terms for the thing, right? But usually the product manager is going to be there even besides being the subject matter expert. So I can build a fintech product without knowing anything about financial services because I'm biased and I feel like it's even better to approach it like that when you know nothing because you don't come with your inbuilt biases, right? Like you don't come with your idea of how things should be. You then kind of try to innovate within the space. So usually a subject matter expert has very important domain knowledge or technical knowledge on that industry, let's say e-commerce. Then you hire somebody like Ron who has been in it for 8 years. But they won't exactly be maybe the best product manager for the entire life cycle of the product because they're now very focused on how the industry has been operating. You get it? So the product manager is kind of like a guide that walks the product through to the end. They don't have to know everything about the product for it to work. Yeah. Questions? No questions? All right.
Thank you so much, Mercy. Thank you for sparing time to be with us this evening. I'm sure these people are going to be reaching out to you because it is really needed. Product management, without it, you can't move forward. You can't. You really need a product manager on your team. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so next we are going now to resume our presentations and Forex, please come up. I'm going to request our facilitators to come in front so that we can go with our presentations. Go straight to the point, and it is here that we are standing so that he can get us, they can see us, and also the facilitators can see us. Let us try to be fast. Don't waste time, please, because we are very many teams, and it is very many teams that are still remaining. Forex, you're still seated. I'm going to request silence from the rest of us.
Thank you, and good afternoon. We'd like to apologize. Where we had done our work, the hard disk crashed over the weekend. That's why we presented handwritten, because it was a rough draft, sort of. But then we're working on the other final copy to submit tomorrow. But then to start with, we'd like to give our customer journey, which we hadn't yet uploaded because of the fault which we happened to share with Charlotte. But in our customer journey, first we had awareness. Customers are able to interact with the app because of the marketing ads or by word of mouth. Okay. So the first step was awareness. The second in the customer journey map was registration and onboarding. The customer is able to register into the system and create a password. The next step was login and instant access. So once the customer information has been verified, they're able to log in into the app. Then the next was viewing account information. They're able to interact with their account, and if they can upload funds or make transfers. So the next step was making transactions. That was the next journey in the customer app. They're able to make transactions, which is to upload funds, considering Forex Express is a cross-border payment platform for sending money from across Eastern Africa, and you receive it in the new required currency. So the next step after that would be currency conversion, and then the customer can give a transaction review based on the experience they've received. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So our use case diagram has two main actors. We have the user, and of course, the user can be an individual or a banking or mobile agent. So the user has the ability to deposit funds, can log in, can register, can also look at their transaction history, can send money, and also withdraw. And then on the other end, we have the system or the admin as another actor. And there, it can manage their accounts, of course, onboarding the clients, a currency conversion, authentication, and then also processing users' details, and then also can also post at the current conversion rates at the moment.
Thank you.
So, at the user flow.
So the comments are down there with your slides. Of course, you know what to do. Eh?
Yeah.
Let me hope on Wednesday you're not going to be presenting that. It's okay. We shall see. Tomorrow is only 12 hours away.
Good afternoon, guys. This is Game Changers, and we are working on. Pardon?
You give to Sumaya, you're the friend.
Good afternoon. We are the Game Changers. I'm Sumaya, he's Dan, and she's Sarah. We are working on a fake note detector.
You give to Sumaya or Sarah.
Okay, so let's begin with the use case diagram, fake note detector application. We have a client. That client logs in. They sign up, then they log in. So when they log in, at the home page, they find view reports and scan notes. And under the scan notes, they go to either subscribe for after the trial, and then they can also be able to view the lifespan of the notes. Then under the view reports, they can be able to
determine the number of fake notes, the number of genuine notes, and the total number of scanned notes. Then our customer journey map will literally how to wear the shoes of the user. So as a user, what do I want? As a user, I want to sign up. So what do I do? As a user, I want to enter my email and password so I can create an account. So when they're able to sign up, as a user, they would love to log in. So as a user, I want to enter my account password so I can log in to view the system and homepage. So when they're able to log in as a user, we have two options of scan and view reports. So as a user, what do I want to scan for? I want to scan to determine the genuine notes. And also I want to scan to know the false notes. Then I also want to scan to know the lifespan of the notes. Then, as a user, when I click on view reports, what do I want to find? As a user, I want to view fake notes so I can determine the losses I've averted for that day. I also want to view reports so I can determine the number of profits I've made out of genuine notes. And also, as a user, I want to determine the total number of notes I've scanned per day, per week, per year, per month, and so on. Then, we have to subscribe as a user. When I go to subscribe, what do I have to do? What do I expect? As a user, I want to enter my full name so I can sign up. I want to enter my email. I want to enter my address. I want to check the free trial so I can get the experience. I want to subscribe and know the amount, and so on. Maybe I can let my colleagues also.
So this is the flow chart. If you're a user, you're going to start. Then if you already have an account, you're just going to enter your email and password. Then if you've not entered your email yet, then you'll have to sign up. If the email is correct and the password is correct, then you'll be able to view the home page. Then you can scan notes. You can, if you've scanned like 5 notes and you've exceeded the free trial, then you'll be able to subscribe and scan more notes. And if you want to view the reports, you'll be able to see the number of fake notes that you've been able to scan. You'll see the number of genuine notes and the total number, the overall total number of the notes that you've been able to scan, let's say in a day, and you will be done.
All right, thank you. All right, so the data model is lacking. Of course, you can't be having only 3 tables, eh? No? And also on the use case, where you have the decision of if email, then if you have that, then what's the purpose of showing yes or no? On the flow, if you're asking us if, then what's the purpose of showing yes or no? You just need to write a statement that maybe email verification or verification, okay? All right, so the rest of the comments are in your slides. Round of applause for the team. Hands of women, kindly come on, present. HPESA. HPESA, Infotix. Actually, the tools that were provided, you just need to drag and drop. Then you type. You know?
Good afternoon. So we are HiPipo, and this is our use case diagram. We have 3 users, the admin, the lender, and the borrower. The admin can view the company income, monitor transactions, dispute resolution, and also user management. Lender can log in or sign up. They can top up their account or withdraw. And they can also view the contract between them and the borrower, and they can accept and view loan requests. The borrowers can also log in, sign up, top up their accounts or withdraw, and also request and repay the loans, and they can view the contract. Our customer user journey. So the first step is visiting. You first download the HiPipo app. You visit, you add, you log in or sign up. Once you log in, you just expect a login form. Once you log in, you start the request process. With the request process, you first connect, make a connection, then request a loan to the lender. Once you request the loan, you send the loan details as you request the loan. The loan is accepted and the funds are transferred to your account. Our user flow diagram. You can log in if you have an account, and if you don't have account, you register. Then the authorization, the credentials you've provided, they are checked. If it's a success, you are redirected to the homepage. If it's not, you are redirected to login again. Once you're in the homepage, you send a connection request to the person you want to lend money from. To ask for a loan to. Once the connection request is accepted, the request, you send the request support. Once it's accepted, you can now view the contract and withdraw the funds that have been transferred to your account. If the connection request is declined, you can send the request again. If the support request is declined, you can also send the request support again. Our data model, we have the users table, then the loans in and the loans out. The loans in represent the amount that you've received from lenders, and loans out is what you have, the ones that you've lended out. And you also have a wallet and the payments table. Our designs, the login, the sign up, the homepage, where you send the connection request, where you send the request support. Yes, the form for sending the request support and the amount and all that. Then after it's received, you accept or decline.
Thank you so much. Okay, great. The notes are indicated, but when you go to your data model, something says that the loans in and loans out can be in the same. When you go to the data model, the loans in and loans out can be in the same table, and they share the same fields. You just need to mark time of entering and time of going out, but the person is the same. The fields are the same. Thank you so much. Next team. Actually, the data model for HiPipo, even the wallet can be in the same table. Even the wallet can be in the same table, just a field.
Good afternoon. I'm Linda Namanja Patricia with Tusime Fortunate and Nat Sanse Daisy. We are the Infitex Empowerment Hub. So, I'm to explain the use case. So when the user comes to our website, the Infitex Empowerment Hub, will be able to sign up. She will be able to sign up, and then with all the account details, the username, all the details. Then if at all he already signed in, he will be able to use those credentials to log in. Then we'll be able to visit our Empowerment Hub. So on coming to our Empowerment Hub, we'll be able to view the resources. Those resources will consist like the financial literacy, if he's up to being to educate her or him. So you'll be able to do the microfinance and then also the investment options. And also you'll be able to view his or her dashboard, and then he can log out. For an admin, we have the user and the admin. Admin views whatever the user does, but he goes some extra mile to track the progress of the payments of the microfinances, and also the where he or she is investing the money. So let me call my colleague to continue from there.
Thank you so much, Linda. This is our customer journey map, and when a user comes to our site, the first thing they do is register if they do not have an account with us. And after registering, the things that are going to be displayed to their dashboard are, of course, the services we offer and what we do. So first, a user can choose to go through okay. A user can be able to, if they log in and they've logged in successfully, among the things they can see are they can investigate the courses, and the courses are all about financial education. And they can also explore the microfinance. That's if they're interested in getting loans from us. And the other thing they can be able in position to see are the savings, or how they can be able to be saving with us. Then a user flow diagram goes like that. A user comes, they can access a microfinance service section. They can select a microloan option, display the microfinance options. It can also show the loan approval status. Then they can request for the microfinance options. That depends on what they have chosen. Then they can submit the loan. That's when they've gone ahead to ask for one. Then there is send microfinance options. Okay, this comes through the back end, like this comes from us, like you send a loan approval status. Then we also have get available option, process loan application, return options data, and loan approval status. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much. All right, so the diagrams are really so confusing, all the three diagrams. They are really confusing. Tomorrow is only 12 hours away. Thank you so much. Next team. So we cannot comment on the diagrams. We are also confused about. But better late than never.
The next one. So I'll start with the use case. We have three participants: the students, manager, and the system administrator.
So the student can log in, register into the application, make laundry orders, make payments, and then also provide us with feedback. Then the manager confirms orders that have been made by the student, view laundry details, upload laundry orders, as well as updating laundry details of the clients. Then the administrator manages user details as well as the user account. So in our customer roadmap, we looked at a student getting aware of the laundry, of the campus wash-up application. Then he considers downloading it. Then that is supposed to be order, not purchase. Like he makes an order and then uses the application. Can scroll up.
Yeah, thank you so much. About the flow chart, as you all can see, the student comes here. This is the diamond shape for decision making. If the student is not logged in, they'll have to first register, then they log in. If they're logged in, they just put in the authentication, then they're allowed into the platform. And we are going to use one login interface to avoid security-related problems. So the student it has a student, system administrator, and a manager, and each one has different roles on the platform. Then about our data models, you all can see we have different tables relating to each other. For example, the major table here is the login table, and it has the primary key relating to the manager, to the student, that is the user, and then the admin, because they will all have to log in at specific times. Then we have the feedback table.
Let's give our audience.
We shall have the feedback table relating with the student, so they can make a feedback about the services. So it can either be one-to-one or many-to-many, depending on the feedback. Then we shall have the payment table relating with the order, because you will have to make payments either on delivery or before delivery, and it shall ensure digital wallets and all other related interoperable systems. The system will be able to be integrated with them. So we shall have the admin relating with the, no, we shall have the service relating with the order, whereby the service and the order will be a many-to-many relationship, because a student can you can describe how you want your laundry to be done, either you want them to be ironed or what.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so on your flow chart after logging in, the question is really not required. It can be summarized into one sentence, which can be auth check. Then also after logging in, since it is the auth check that determines, then maybe you can put user role, because it's a user role that determines if someone will be seeing a dashboard of a student or an admin.
All right, thank you.
Then the rest of the comments are in there. Let me see.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Piga makofi. Chikumi. After Chikumi, Mama's Daily Cookies. Then after Mama's Daily Cookie, Opportune. Just to clarify, as Chikumi get prepared, You need to rename your tables very well. The previous presenters. You can't have a table called register or a table called service. You know? Same applies to others, eh?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maureen Atima, and my colleague is Jean from Chikumi. Our use case diagram, we chose two main actors, the vendor and the person who buys from the vendor. The vendor uses the Chikumi smart card to receive payments, and then also lend and borrow money from fellow vendors within the same market, and then also pay market bills like water and electricity. Then, for the user flow diagram, we chose to do the one for the customer buying from the vendor. So simply the user signs up or logs in, then goes to the buyer's dashboard, selects to make payments, scans the vendor's QR code, then inputs the amount, verifies vendor, confirms transaction, and money is taken from his account to the vendor's account. Then on the customer journey map, the first journey map we submitted was for the customer buying from the vendor, but as time went on, we again worked on the journey map for the vendor themselves. So I don't know if you could see it from there, but we have just uploaded it. So Mama Kenny, an example of Mama Kenny, a vendor who sells tomatoes in a window market. Her customers can't pay her digitally, conveniently, and she can't also access small, secure, and non-extractive loans. So her expectation is to receive e-money from her customers happily, and then also save and lend to grow her money. At the same time, build credible history to access other higher digital financial services. Yeah, so.
Kindly give her audience so that we don't give her more time.
Okay. So you find here the first thing is she wants to receive money from her customers, and also she wants to access small loans like for 5,000, maybe to top up to pay her suppliers. But she's not able to do that at the moment, and it's the situation she is. So with Chikumi, she'll be able to receive money from her customers without asking for withdrawal charge from her customers, so meaning her customers will be happy customers, which also makes her happy. Then number 5, she'll build credible history to access loan services. Then also number 6, that's with Chikumi. So before she hears about Chikumi, okay, she hears about the advert of Chikumi from the radio, and she later runs to her market administrator to register, and she purchases a card. After purchasing a card, her customers are able to scan the card, make payments without any more additional withdrawal charge. So when she receives money in her wallet, she can lend money, retaining 100% interest. That is growing money for her. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
The comments are going to be in the slide, but all teams, one, kindly name your PowerPoints well. It has taken us 3 minutes to look for the right PowerPoint.
Oh,
By the
sorry.
time we get there to comment, you are done. Secondly, also try to avoid the themes, because the themes are eating up your space, your diagrams are small. All of you get it, eh? Beautify by drawing them yourselves. Create your own custom themes. Thank you so much. So if you look at it, for example, the previous slide, the dark part is more than the actual content. You yourself need to zoom in. Things are small. It's okay.
Thank you.
All right. The comments are there. Thank you, Mama's Daily Cookie. All teams kindly avoid, when you reach the decision part, user has account, you're asking us who are viewing the diagram, just simply put maybe auth check or authentication, and then you put no or yes. Or you are copying each other, chat GTP. Eh?
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Kaitesi. She's Sauda and he's Ivan. We are Team Mama's Daily Cookie. This is our use case diagram. We have 4 actors: the customer, the admin, the charity organization, and the digital financial service provider. So the customer and the admin can create an account. The customer browses, adds to cart, views cart, makes payment, and can view the wallet contributions. And then the admin can update the products, view orders, manage charities, track overall contributions. And then our service provider processes the payment and confirms the payment. And then we have the charity organization that receives the contributions. Then we have a few relationships, adding to cart and making payment, and includes relationship, meaning you can't make the payment if you didn't add to cart, right? Then we have tracking overall contributions and receiving contributions. You need to have, viewed the wallet contributions. Then we put a few of our UI, the landing page, the register page, the cart, the basket, and all that. We shall have the customer journey map.
Hello. This is a customer journey map. We have 5 stages, that is awareness, consideration, decision, service, and loyalty. So for example, a customer activities during awareness is learning about MDC cookie pouch, that is engaging the marketing content. Then consideration, the research reviews to know if what our product offering is it authentic or not. Then if they're impressed, if they believe us, then they make a decision to purchase a pouch. Then our service includes receiving the product, then charity proceeds go to their wallet, and then to the organization, the refugee camp. Then loyalty includes repeat purchases and shares his experience.
Yes. Let's proceed. Here we have our data flow data diagram where we have users, where a user is identified by the user ID, that is normally our primary key. We also have products. Now, for you to make orders, it depends on the products that we have. A product has a product ID, which is the primary key. We have the product price, there is the image quantity that you're ordering. In case many products are ordered, then we have a rating for that product. We also have the orders. The orders, when you make your orders, we have a payment.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, always use PowerPoint. We cannot comment because it's a PDF. The products are not showing the primary keys and secondary keys, and you don't really need an order status table. Yes, you don't really need an order status table because you just add it as a column in the orders table. Of course, they look yummy here. That's but kindly use PowerPoint so that we can comment and review each other. Thank you so much. Piga makofi. All right. Opportune. after opportune PesaJet, and then safe and free thereafter.
Good afternoon. Aparo Cecilia is my name, and she's Gum Priscilla. Our use case, we have two actors, the user and the admin. Now, when the user gets into our website, first of all, he or she will view the site, and then we have a login option. Once the user logs in, and then that means that this user is either going to upload a skill or an advertisement of his or her business, or it's either a skill, an advertisement, or an opportunity. And then we are sorry about this glitch, about this use case that is not pointed to. It's the use case called a new product or services. So this user is either going to view services that are available. Those are the products that have been advertised. And then the user can view skills. That's when somebody has uploaded his or her skill onto our website. And then the person can also go through the opportunities that have been uploaded. Now for the admin, you have to log in, and then you can go ahead and approve or decline some money withdrawals, and then you can exit. Now our user flow diagram. We say that at the start, you can view our dashboard or the website homepage, and then you can go ahead to post an opportunity if you are posting an opportunity or a skill, and then you can go ahead and log in. When you log in, you have to log in with your credentials, and then you have to register. Once your credentials are not valid, you are redirected to the login again. You have to log in again with correct credentials. And then you have to fill out the respective, the word is respective, a respective form for either skills, product, or opportunity. And then once our user is not going to post any of the three, a skills, opportunity, or a product, then that means that this user is going to just go through the already posted products, skills, or opportunities. And therefore, it's only the skills where this user is able to give a donation to. When you find a skill that is worth funding, then you can go ahead and provide a donation through the Moja Loop transaction API that we shall embed. Then you can go ahead and exit. Next up is the data model diagram.
Hello, everyone. I'll try to be as fast as possible. In our database, we have the invoices table, skills, opportunities, and the advert. We have the admin and the user. Those are our two actors. So when someone posts a skill and they want funding, their skill shall be going to the skills table. The opportunity table is for those who are uploading or advertising any job opportunities. The advert table is for those who are advertising their products. Then our user journey map. Yes, the user will first have a motivation. They want to upload their skills, products, or advertise an opportunity. Since they know about Opportune, they'll go into their browser, search for it. Due to autofill, they land on a wrong page. But successfully, if they manage to, they view if they are not uploading, they can view available skills, opportunities, and products that have been already showcased. They open the services page. There are categories, the skills, the products, and the job opportunities. They can then, after, if anything has impressed them, they can proceed maybe to reach out to the person who has advertised the job, or they can proceed to fund a skill, or they can proceed to advertise their product. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The data model, of course, it's lacking, and there is no need to have an amount attached on the user table. It should be on the skill or the opportunity.
All right,
Okay,
thank
so
you.
more comments are in there. Also, the admin is really lacking. So the admin is the customer?
No.
Eh. All right.
Thank you.
Piga makofi, yes. After Pesa get safe and free,
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Angela. This is Team Pesajet. Today I'll be presenting on my own. My colleague is not around. Let's start with the use case diagram. We have only 3 actors. We have the user, the admin, and the supplier in our use case diagram. So the user will log into the app, and the user will be authenticated with a one-time password that will be sent to him or her. Then the user will be prompted to submit their KYC, and then the admin will approve this KYC, and then the user will go ahead to apply for a merchant stock loan, which the admin will acknowledge through a notification on the app, and the admin will forward the list of the stock list to the supplier, who will send us a quotation, and this quotation will be forwarded to the user, who will approve the loan and all its terms, and then the admin will contact the supplier to make the delivery for the stock, and then the user will start making payments using the app. It will be either using Airtel Money or MTN Mobile Money. Yes, and the admin will be tracking all these loan payments and giving notifications of receipt of payments. To our customer journey, we created a persona, Lubega, a small business owner in Boise. So the motivation that the Lubega needs is that he lacks stock for his business, and he will need to look for a quick stock loan to solve that problem of a lack of stock. So he will go to a web application and search for any apps offering stock loans. Obviously, there will be many apps that will come up, even on Google Play Store. Then he will land on the PesaJet application. There will be a simple registration, which will only require his phone number, a password, and he will get a one-time password. Then he will fill out the KYC, which will take about 10 minutes to be acknowledged and approved or rejected by the admin. Yes, and then he will fill out his stock application. He will receive the stock at his premises, and then he will also recommend the app to his other fellow small business owners. The next one is the user flow diagram. As you can see, the user will load the app, will register, will submit a KYC, will get approval from the admin, or not. If he doesn't get the approval, then the process will end there. But when he gets the approval, you request a stock loan. There'll be a notification of receipt of the stock loan application. There'll be a notification for the quotation, which will be approved by the administrator and also by the user. And then the payments will be made to the supplier, who will deliver the stock. And then the user will start making loan payments. And then the data model, the data that will be collected from the user will be the first name, the last name, the phone number, the password, national ID, guarantors, and their details. For the application, there will be a user KYC, stock loan, and then the various notifications that will be sent to the user. And then the payments, the loan amount, loan repayment schedule, and the notifications. That is it.
All right, thank you. Of course, the tables are lacking, but then still, when you go to the user flow, it's beautiful, but I'm not sure if the user re-registers or always, the moment they hit the app, the first thing they get is an OTP.
Yes. once they open the app, they'll have to, since the first time they sign in, they'll have a password and a phone number. But when they keep on opening the app, they'll be sent one
Because it indicates that when the app loads, they get an OTP straight away.
Yes. They'll have to request one OTP that will be sent to them and they fill out.
Then there is missing the word login instead of loading the app.
Oh, okay.
Then
Yes.
also, do they submit a KYC every time they uploads?
No, that is for the first time.
Exactly. So we need to find a loop. But that is a straightforward process that says this must be done every time they uploads.
Okay, I will.
You get it, eh?
Yes.
I don't need to be right.
It's-
All right, thank you. So next team, clap for her. Safe and free. Then Shikapto. And similar to Gende, we will be prepared there.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Happy from Team Safe and Free. This is Steven, and I'm going to be taking you through our use case diagram. Here we start with we have 3 main actors, with the client being our primary actor. That's why he's on the left side. So our client signs up, makes an order for a product, makes payment for a product, and then they request for sexual health services and receive a code of anonymity. Oh, yeah. Then the medical professional provides consultation and gives time of appointment. Then we have the system admin who manages the product inventory. So for our user flow diagram, you log in, and if you don't have an account already, you register. Then when you register, you're prompted to choose, do you want a product or service? So if our user wants a service, they're going to select the type of service that they want, and then they receive a code of anonymity, and then they get matched with a health personnel. Then if they want a product, they're going to select the product type and make payment for the product, and that's it. So for our customer journey map, our user is going to get to know about our product through social media or referrals. Then they're going to sign up for a Safe and Free account. Then they navigate our platform to access educational resources and learn about the available services and products. Then if the user wants a service, they're going to schedule a consultation with a medical professional, and then they will interact with the medical personnel via video consultation, or if they want, they can do the physical thing. Then if a user wants a product, they can make purchases securely through our platform, and after consultation or a purchase is made, the user provides their feedback and experience. Then the user continues to access our services. So in our data model, we have the client, pharmacy, order, medic, delivery, and payment. So many clients can be worked upon by one medic. What you see here is a one-to-many relationship. Okay. Then many clients can go to a pharmacy. Then many orders can be taken up by one pharmacy. And then yeah, and after the order is made, the payment is made, and then delivery. Go through our prototypes and.
Nope. Thank you. But we've gone through them here. We're going to find the comments for you. On the data model, showing the primary keys and foreign key relationship. But when you go to the order, I think the order and the delivery table can be merged. The order and the delivery table can be merged. And the delivery can just be a status, if something is delivered or not. All right. Let's meet tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
But it looks nice there. I'm just complimenting. People don't want to clap for others. Shake up toe, then similar to Gende. Then tax on point.
So good afternoon. I'm called Daivari Allen. This one is Desire and the other one is Esther. And we are the HiPipo team. So here on our use case diagram, we have 3 actors. One is an admin, and we have the applicant and then the funders. So now the applicant, who is the person seeking for the loan, will have to first register, then log in and explore the application. After she applies for the funding, and then she comments on the funding opportunities, because remember there will be an option of funders, and then she will communicate with the funders. So she will have to choose who she's willing to be funded. And then on the side of the funding groups, now like an investor, they will have to pay for sign-up fee before they upload their funding opportunities, and then they log in and upload the funding opportunities, like that investor, he or she wants to fund, and then they will receive application from the women who are lacking capital, and then provide loans to the eligible ones, and those funding groups, they can delete if they get those ones to fund, they can delete their opportunities. And on the case of the administration, he or she has all the privileges for both the back end and the front end. And then
good evening to you all. The user, we have 2 users, user 1 and user 2. That's the clients and also the funders. The clients are the women that need funding. They all have to register. They can put in their credentials. Credentials go to authentication. There is an option of forgot password. They log in. If it's a woman entrepreneur, they'll have to go to the loan dashboard. At the loan dashboard, they choose funder, like the funder that lies in the category of their business. They apply for the loan. We're having some condition here. If their applications are eligible, then it will be a successful application. Then if not, it will be unsuccessful, and they can also log out. For the second user, that's the funder, they can They can register, log in, create an account. They can upload loan opportunities. They can upload the fields where they want to fund, let me say agriculture, small businesses, farming or what, and all that. Then they check for the applications that have been uploaded. If the applicants are eligible enough and they match the terms and conditions they set.
Right, so the comments are included. Try to avoid the use of themes so that you can maximize the space. As you can see, the use case diagram is not fitting well. And the rest are standards. Then also you have a comment where we are having 2 user tables, user 1, user 2, we don't know who is who. So the rest you can always check through. Thank you so much.
Captain, I have a question. What does your solution do? Is it crowdfunding? Are you giving out loans?
So, good evening, everyone. So, our application majorly, as we said, they are prospective funders, people who have money and are willing to are willing to give out this money to prospective women business entrepreneurs. So, they come to this platform, this application.
The question is, are you giving out loan? Are you funding? Are you raising capital for the women entrepreneurs?
They are loans.
You have to be specific. Is it a fund? Is it a loan? Are you giving out loan that will be paid up later, or you're helping these women raise, you're asking for help, donations from people to raise capital for these funders, for these women?
We are basically linking these women to the potential funders.
Then you have to stop using the word loan. Get your solution in the right order.
As in?
You mentioned loan, you mentioned funding. So which one is it? That's what I want you to be clear about that. Just think about it, be clear.
Thank you. If you're funding, it's your own money. You're not picking from other people. Thank you so much. Next team. Again, if you have challenges, we shall always be at the back. You can reach out to any of us. And then you rectify anything that is pending.
Good evening, everyone.
Just a moment. Have you all realized that the rest of the team of HiPipo is always here until 7 p.m.? So we are here to assist you. So if you go early, by Friday you won't be ready. Okay?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vanessa. I'm from team similar to Gende. So our use case, we have 4 actors. We have the STL admin, who is the overall admin. Then we have the bus owner, the person to whom we are making the app for. Then we have the conductor, and then the passenger. The STL admin manages the overall actors in our system. Then the bus owner manages the passengers and the conductor. So the bus owner can manage routes, manage schedules, manage buses, and also monitor the performance and analytics. So the passenger registers, though it's optional. You can either register or not. Then they can log out. Then they can search for buses. They book a ticket, make their payments. For the conductor, they just log in, but it's the bus owner to check their credentials and see. Then they can check for notifications on who has booked to update their manual list. Then our customer journey for the bus owner. The bus owner has the application. Now, when the bus owner manages the tickets, they will feel happy and excited because they would have done away with the manual processes. Then when they receive notifications on who has booked, they are excited because they are earning. Then updates on the seating, they love it because there is quick changes to see which seats are taken or not. Then they update the schedules in case there is another route they are going to work with. There is easy and quick changes in the schedules. Then when they view the most recent bookings, they love it because they are seeing people are loving what they are providing to them, and it's easy. Then for the scanning, it's done by the conductors, and it's really easy to prevent fraud. Then for our second user, it will be the passenger. So the first feeling, they will be happy since they are traveling and they don't have to wait in queues. They just get onto the platform and book. They will be happy. Then when they enter their route and the date of their travel, they would love it, the way they are interacting with the website. Then when something goes wrong, obviously there will be a change of emotion and they'll blame themselves and rush back to rectify it. Then they'll modify the date and everything will continue on smoothly. Then our user flow, we said the user doesn't have to log in. We say the user doesn't have to log in, so they don't have to log in, so they will just get onto the application. They will enter their credentials, where they're going, then they will search for a bus, select a seat. Then for this thing we are providing, you can either choose a seat or you're taking in your luggage to somewhere, then you enter, then they will get a receipt. Sorry, we forgot to put the bus owner's operations.
All right, thank you. Still, you've heard the sound, eh? All right. So you yourself can tell that you had to look behind when you mentioned that the user doesn't need to log in. So who is booking? Anyone anonymous?
Anyone who would love to book a ticket.
So you have anonymous tickets?
No. It's like we are going to have a user, they come on, how they register to our system, it's when they try to manage their bookings.
So, you can simply tell, really, because of time I don't want us to go into, but you'll have to look left and right and see how to manage the system. You have to come to the instructors, eh?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are they paying also using the system?
Pardon?
Are they paying using the system?
Yes.
Then who is paying?
There is a part. It's there.
It's a short in the food.
So they provide the details at the point of paying.
It's here.
It is digital manual, eh?
Pardon?
It is digital manual.
It's when you're paying, that's when we need your details. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. Good evening already. Okay. We are the team achievers, and this is the user case. At the user case, we have three categories of people. These are the freelancers, the recruiters, and the admin. So here, the freelancer will first register, then after logs in, and here we shall also see the recruiter registering, and also the recruiter will log in into the ChapChap Workers app. Then the recruiter will locate the freelancers, and the freelancers will also view the recruiters. Then the freelancers will upload the verification document. Help me with that. Then after, the recruiter will make the payments to the freelancers, and the recruiter will also contact the freelancers. These are the job seekers. Then after, the freelancers will pay the subscription fees for them to be put into the system. Then after, the admin will verify the freelancers, and later on, the freelancers will contact the recruiter. No, the arrow. So this is the data model diagram. The users, this is the data that will be collected from the users, the ID, the name, the payment status, the verification status, and for the payments, we shall need the ID, the amount filled as the status, and the timestamp. Then for the recruiters, it will be the ID, the recruiter ID, the freelancer's ID, then the job categories, the amount paid, the payment status and timestamp, and the job category will be the ID, the name, and the timestamp. For the freelancers and job category will be the ID, freelancer's ID, job category, the location, and the timestamp. So I think you're going to take them
So this is our customer journey map. It's two-way. First, there is a customer who has already registered with us. So if you've registered with us and you're looking for someone to hire, you will simply log into our app. After logging into our app, you will search for the specific labor you're looking for. After finding the labor you're looking for, you go through the labor background, the ratings, and the comments from the past employees, from the past employers. After checking out, you check out for the price. If the price is in the range of what you had planned for, you proceed to pay for the freelancer. And the second case will be for a customer who has not registered with us. The customer will have to go and search for different websites that have the labor he is looking for. First, he may not be able to find our website, which gives this morale, but after some time, he will find our website. After finding our website, he will now be able to find the specific worker he is looking for. After, he will go on to check the labor background, the ratings, and the past employers, which will lead him to price, and then he will proceed to pay for the freelancer using his or her phone. That's our customer journey map.
Thank you. Thank you. Your time is up. Kindly submit PPTs, okay? And make sure you name them properly. So your solution design submission should be on the same slides. Okay, there's a lot of confusion here. We've even failed to add comments. We're going back and forth. Okay? All right.
Also, one last thing. The naming, are you chap workers or achievers? So the name is different. Achievers is different, and then the product is chap workers.
X-Home is the last team. Oh, there is also Bope. Siamese.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yes, this is Team UPay, but our product name is called AgriMarket Connect. So here we consider the user flow diagram. We consider the part of the buyer or a client. The client opens up our application, then he browses the different agricultural products which are being posted by the farmer. Then he searches for a specific product that he wants, and then he views that product. If he likes the product, he continues to log in. If he does not like the product, he goes back to browse or check for another product from another farmer. Then after him logging in, he chats with the farmer, they negotiate about the price and everything. Then they agree about the product, and then they make the payments. Let me call Patricia to...
Thank you. This is the journey map. Well, we start with the motivation. The client will be motivated by their need for the products. Then, up it's the positive experience, and down it's the negative experience. You can see negative has just two. So after system awareness, the client goes ahead and searches for any product they want. It could be cereals, it could be tomatoes. So after searching for what you want around your area, in your vicinity, you can get the product you want. You can view more product from that farmer. After that, you go to the interaction. When you finally have a product you want, you can negotiate with the farmer about the prices, and that's the chat with the farmer part. After negotiating, you can purchase. You can see the customer is happy all the way, and after purchasing, you can receive your product. So the retention bit of it, it's for the happy clients who are now using our platform daily. And the feedback is for the social network, feedback about the platform. Thank you.
Okay, this is our use case diagram. The part of the user, this is the user. He browses the product that he wants. These are the activities that the user will be doing. They will be browsing the product that they want. Then they can search if they don't find it on the home page. And then after they sign up, after signing up, like if it's a buyer, if it's a seller, he uploads the, if it's a seller, he or she uploads the product that they are selling. And for the buyer, he browses and just checks through if he wants the product. Then after they do the interaction, they can chat. And buyer and the seller can chat and they negotiate on the prices. Then we also have another user, which is the driver. A driver just signs up. Then they see the available clients. Then they can accept or decline they see the available clients who want their services.
Thank you. Thank you. So you're also a culprit of themes. Your diagrams are hard to read, and your user journey map is incomplete. Okay? Yeah. Go and look at the notes and make the necessary changes. But thank you. Yeah. X-Home, a round of applause for them. X-Home, you're up next.
X-Home around? No. Silence. Oh, Boape?
Good evening. My name is Olga from Team Boape. And he's Michael. So we have the use case diagram. We have the user, the admin, and the BOAPE agent. So the admin registers new BOAPE agents. BOAPE agents register new users and also issue cards. And the user logs in. So when they log in, generates an OTP. They enter the OTP. They are able to add a new payment by entering the amount. They approve payment by entering their mobile money PIN. They view payment logs. And after the whole session, they can log out. And then they access water with a card.
Here is our user flow diagram. So it starts with the user. The user logs in, and they are presented an OTP. And once they enter in the OTP, they can go and then they are prompted to add a new payment. Then they enter, afterwards they enter the amount. After entering the amount, they get approved. And before they get approved, they have to enter in their mobile PIN, of which after the whole process and they're approved, they can get to now activate their card gets activated, and they can now access the borehole. And in case the user has already logged in, they would be able to view their payment logs of the previous payments they had done on the borehole.
Our class diagram, so we have the admin who registers to the BOAPE agents, and issues the card. The admin will take their username and password. The BOAPE agents will take their ID. Will take their name, contact, role description, and also the village where they stay. The BOAPE agent issues the card. The card has a number and a status, and also status of issue, like the date when the card was issued. And the user has a name, the mobile number, card ID, and location.
Oh, okay. Your time is not yet done, but good, thank you. So let's go back to your user flow. Who was this modeled for? Which actor?
So this is for the user.
Come again? The admin or?
No.
The person going to fetch water?
The person going to fetch water.
Okay. Do they need the OTP to view payment logs? Add new payment? Who adds the new payments?
So the OTP is for when they are logging in, and then after they've logged in, that's when they can view the payment. Or in the event they want to add a new payment, they go straight to adding a new payment.
Is this done monthly or every time?
It's done monthly. The payment is done once per month.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. My other question is on the class diagram. Under payments, if you're capturing like a month, how are you going to track when the person paid and when they finished? Like the month parts, yeah. How are you going to know that this person paid on this date and now their month is done? Because people come at different times. So I would advise maybe you use like a timestamp so that it helps. But also your customer journey map, we didn't see it. Yeah. I don't know if you missed it, but maybe it's good to add it.
That's the user flow.
Is it there? Customer journey map? No, it's not there.
Okay, thank you. Tim San.
I have a question for you. When is registration in your user's journey?
So they just log in with their phone number. They don't register.
So they just require a phone number?
Yes, to log in.
Okay. But it is strange, eh?
Yeah, the BOPE agent registers them, but then when they want to make the payment is when they log in with their phone number.
I was just curious about when your registration is. Where is it? Just try to make it clear where is the registration, because every system requires a registration. Registration ensures security.
Thank you. A round of applause for them. Team Siamese. After Team Siamese, Hands of Women, you're the last team. Please get ready.
Okay, I'm standing in for our team leader, V. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so this is our use case diagram. We are developing a technology that helps people invest their money. So a platform user will come and either sign up or log in or deposit their money or withdraw from net worth. So on the other side, we have the fund manager and the admin. Because NES is not handling investments ourselves, so we build a platform, then we partner with licensed fund managers that come ahead and provide the investment classes. So at one side, you have the platform user, then at the other side, you have the fund manager. The fund manager provides the investment option, the user will get to access the investment class they want to go through. So, oh shit.
Do you have more diagrams? They are not there.
Yeah, not there.
What happened?
Bambi.
What happened? So you just did one diagram. That's what that means. You'll have to add the rest of the diagrams. Class diagram. Yeah. So you just did one task. You can communicate that to the team as well.
The guest here says, uh-huh. Eh? What happened with the team? It's okay, they exist. Hands of Women. Hands of Women. hands of women. 3 of you can come, eh? Not the whole team. 3 of you. The developer, and the developer. Oh. Okay, any of you, but 3 of you are enough, eh? Yes, the microphone is there.
Good evening, everyone. Our case diagram, we have 4 actors. We have seller, we have buyer, admin, and cashier. The buyer orders the
Okay, we're going to view at the back. Yes, we're going to view the diagrams at the back. It's okay, because now we can't see. We also, we don't know where to comment. No, it's okay. We're going to meet you at the end. All right, so as you know, this is a hackathon. All teams must always be ready. All teams must always be ready. Thank you, Charlotte. And what we present or share with you is very simple. Really, when you get that link that was shared with you, it's a drag and drop, eh? And you were advised to come with a laptop. And you're supposed to be teams. Brilliant ideas fail like that by people saying, let me keep it in. Are you a good artist if you only sing in your bedroom?
No.
You keep saying, I'm good, I'm good. When they tell you, sing for me, you say, wait when I go to bed. Eh? So, it can be okay here, but it won't be okay when you feel your idea was worth winning, but you couldn't present. You know? The diagrams were given to you, they are straightforward. The tools were given to you, it's a drag and drop. Even before the hackathon started, you were told, come with your laptops. And additionally, have mobile phones. But they listen to the other part. After all, my mobile phone is smart. And still, I think that is why this hackathon is very good, because some thought they were coming to the usual hackathons. Eh? Come, wave, then go back. So, kindly engage. Make sure you have whatever we request from you. The tools are shared. They are free. The prototyping tools are given. The use case diagram. I'm very sure when you go to that tool, the link that was shared, you just need to drag a stick man. And you rename that's a user or admin. Then you drag a circle. Not so? So, what is chejo in English? Hakuna chejo. What is chejo in English?
It's being bratty. Being bratty. B-R-T-T-Y.
Being bratty. So stop being bratty. Eh? Chejo is added with ego. Me, I know our idea will win. We want to look at solutions, not knowing. Okay? All right, however, you've tried so much, you just need improvement, and I'm going to hand to Cleo to.
Okay. Thank you again. I want to commend the teams that have really worked hard. I've seen some progress for some. But I want to commend the ladies. Please show some effort. Yeah? No one is going to save you. No one is going to save your idea apart from yourself. So just don't come up with papers. It's painful to watch because others have made the effort. Others have slept overnight. So it's very painful to see ladies putting very little effort. And again, if we're in a team of 4 and we have gents, please don't say it's a lady's job to do that. Guys, please, let's not say that, the ladies is not around, so it's her job. She was supposed to do that. No, please. Ladies can develop, they can present, they can build anything. So here we are supposed to empower women, and if we're working in a team, we must work in a team. No other way. Yeah. Also, just don't be clueless about your product. Yeah? They ask you, and you're like, me, I don't know. Okay, also us, we don't know. Now, who knows? So I beg you, try to show some effort. It's very, very painful to see someone, they don't know about their product, and they expect us to know. You're not going to win. No one is going to save your idea apart from yourself, really. I don't know if I've said it. I don't know if it's louder. Yeah? We are rooting for all of you, honestly. But please show some effort. We beg you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so what a session. We are beginning to see the runners, the ones that are pulling from behind, and the ones that are pulling from the front, right? Yeah, just to supplement what my team has said there, we need to see more effort. Most of you have been promising from the start, but when you get up here, you're like, wait a minute, what is happening? What is happening? Okay? So we communicate the daily tasks. Make sure when you're uploading your work, name your files properly. Charlotte said, PPTs, don't add PDFs. Very simple. Okay? Listen to instruction and teamwork, Team Chinese. Very promising team, but and then somebody is going to come from behind, somebody whom you are like, this guy has no chance. But guess what? They are submitting the tasks the way we want them. And then you'll see them at the front and you're like, how come? Maybe they know somebody. No. I saw her talking to Cleo. No. She's submitting her work. She's consulting. Okay? She's taking time to understand what is required of her. Okay? So again, it's teamwork. The gents, yes, fine. I know we have the gents here for the dev bit and all that, but we can do this. Where there is a gap, somebody can fill that gap. Okay? And it is shocking to see that people are not aware about what they are supposed to present, yet they're in that same team. And yet we, the people that are being submitted to, know what they're supposed to show us here. And then you come up here and you're clueless. You're like, what are we doing? Okay? So, some more effort. And we shall get there. Okay? So right now, I think the ground is still a bit level, but we can see the forerunners. Okay? Forerunner is there. A team 50. Yeah. You're 27 teams, but team 35. It's very promising. Yeah, so guys, good luck, more effort. Let's follow through, okay? The diagrams are there, the tasks of that day are listed for you. Make sure you follow through, okay? Very easy. And also, the other comment is, if you have a problem from the start, like some of you do with a problem statement, it's cascading to the rest of the tasks that you have to do. It's cascading, it's very evident. Okay, so we are still asking people here, what are you doing exactly? We've seen the diagrams, we've read the problem statement. Man, I would kill for such an opportunity back at campus. We didn't have these, Dorothy. Undergrad computer science, we didn't have these. And you guys are lucky you're being mentored by the best people in the industry. Mentors day in, day out. I would not sleep if it were me. Okay? And that is why probably I'm standing before you. Put in the work so you can also be able to stand before others to inspire them. Okay? To do better and go further. Right? Yeah. And that is also the whole vision for the company I come from. Start early, do things early, have the experience. And HiPipo is also doing this for you. The ladies, these things are doable. Once we get our feet deeply rooted, we can do better than the gents, hands down. There is research that proves this. Tesrod, robotics, I'm coming. You don't know. So, good luck, please. More effort, okay? Tomorrow we're going to start a new session, but we have to see the prototypes. It's important. You're not going to present so that we can save time. We shall be coming to each individual team to look at the prototypes, okay? So have them ready. Good luck.
It's been a very long day. Are we tired? Are we exhausted? Okay, I thank you so much, our facilitators. Thank you for the time you have dedicated. And thank you, dear participants, for the patience, but it's all needed. Everything that we are doing here is very, very important. It's a very, very busy program, very tight, but it is important. Please bear with us. It is just for your own good. How many people are here in the first hackathon? First women. First women in FinTech hackathon. The first one. Okay, Ivan. We have only Ivan. The others are not here today. So I attended the first hackathon, Women in FinTech. I didn't know anything, nothing at all when I came. And I had to learn. I don't know programming. I don't do coding. I learned the theory part of coding. Yeah? So I can do designing, the prototyping, the tools, these ones that are needed, user journeys, because I learned from here. So you're here, Jennifer and your team. These diagrams, you don't need a developer. What the developer does is what you're going to tell him. I want my user to come in and register like this and this. This is what I want you should ask, the form should look like: name, email address, phone number, whatever that you want. You have to tell your developer what you want. Put it on paper. The tools were shared. Go there, get that software, draw them. You don't need a developer for that. It is your mind. How do you want your product to look like? How do you want it to look like? Put it on paper, draw screens on your paper, draw the screens. I remember the first time someone gave me a link to prototyping tool, just in mind. I didn't know where to start from. I clicked on the link and there was this thing, it's like a studio, wherever, and I'm like, what should I do here?
I would look at it every morning and I go. I look at it, I don't know where to start. And then I had to make a presentation to the person. So I had to work very hard. And by mistake, I made a screen. By mistake. And I was like, but how did I make this? How did I make this? So like that I learned. So we are here to learn. We are here to learn. That's the purpose of being here, to learn. Anything you don't know, please, the facilitators are there. Go and ask them. You gave us this tool. I tried to use it and I failed. Help me. Yes? And there's a reason as to why we have teams. I had very many people who called me at the last minute. I'm sorry, I'm just remaining one. Others have pulled out. I'm like, no, we can't accept you. We want teams. Why? You have to collaborate. You have to work together. If this one is doing a use case, someone had to use a model, the other architecture diagram, another person has to work together as a team. And don't say, me, I don't know what the other one did. My team leader is not here and me, I don't know what to do. This one is, no. That doesn't show a spirit of togetherness. There is no unity. That means you're not a team. Yeah? Okay, I have a few announcements. The WhatsApp groups that we created right now, as we are in the hackathon, they are just for hackathon communication. Just. Once the hackathon is done, you can always pass on other information. But right now, when you try to pass on other things like vote for me, what, it's going to confuse us. It's going to confuse us. It's for passing on information concerning the hackathon. So please, and whatever communication is passed on to the leaders, please let others also know. And the presentations that we are making here, they help you to identify the loopholes in your product, in your solution, so that you can improve. The final presentations are on Thursday. That is very final. You cannot add anything there. Right now you can improve, build, improve, remove this, put that. You have the gap. But on Thursday, nothing. That will be the very, very final. So you standing here, you're practicing. You're practicing how to talk. All these things are going to be considered. How you're presenting yourselves. We have a mentor. She's going to come on Wednesday, who will present, who will guide you on pitching. Purposely for that, pitching. She's going to be here, so on Wednesday, you're going to be taught how to pitch. What should you say in a pitch deck? What should you not say? How do you get the investors' attention? And in your solutions, please, I repeat again, incorporate level 1 project principles and modular loop features. It is very important. Today, in all people that presented, only e-parking talked about modular loop. Only e-parking. So if we are giving the winners, e-parking would take it because they have considered that. It's a requirement. Level 1 project principles, which ones are in your solution? Modular loop features, how are you using modular loop features in your solution? Look at that and improve. Do we have any questions? If we don't have any questions, I thank you all for today. Thank you for being disciplined. I just love you, but I haven't received the vibe, the vigor, the competition. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I attended the HiPipo Women in FinTech Hackathon twice, the first one and the second one, and I'm telling you, the other people would make you feel like you're worthless. Like, what am I doing? They would put you on pressure. Put you on pressure like, goodness, they will be there working, consulting the facilitators. By the way, you don't consult your facilitators. You don't. They'll be consulting, they'll be doing that, they'll be having very unique things that you're there shivering. But do you know what? In the first hackathon, we were the third, and the second one, we were the second. So, never lose hope in yourself, always have faith. That's all. Thank you. Travel safely.
I'm succeeding, the leading, hate the CD. We are winning. Anti-money bugs in Zabimala. Bad yoga, I make money, neagare. Holy God, to do. Life is financially simplified. Holy God, yoga, make money, neagare. Skins in answer to Kirabazongo. TikTok bagobe bali mbuwambi. Play tukadde 10 awe tutusaawo. iPhone ye phone ebirala telefoni. Flight ku flight akanyonyi katukuba. Katonde abawaye atuma. Nonsense, mugira mukolima. Emmoloka etasusa 5 kimerementi. The night is still young, wait a pop more champagne. Ngenda Maldives ku breakfast tewali. Bakuyita Richard Wakabi. Holy wealthy wizard Malanga. Fortune is separate. Wakolamu, wachikuba, wamalayo. Anti-money bugs in Zabimala. Bad yoga, I make money, neagare. Holy God, to do. Life is financially simplified.